Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I was thinking, am I going to shout to begin the show? And I was like, let's not scare anybody early.
What are you shouting for, man?
Well, I kind of want to say this. Screw the no moral victory stuff. It's such an old cliche. It's like you're not allowed to say, hey, that was still pretty impressive. That was still pretty good. Oh, we lost. I get it. Like, that's a loser mentality is what people say.
That's what I would say.
But, yeah, and I understand that because you have to say that, right? But you're also fooling yourself because you've been into a lot of locker rooms and you've been on a lot of teams and you've been involved in sports for a long time. And you're also fooling yourself if you don't think that sometimes the moral victory actually is worth something. The fact that you played pretty well, the fact that you saw a lot of good things, the fact that you did things better than people thought you could or would, that builds confidence. You can actually still gain some confidence in a loss. Is the stream all messed up? You're looking at Kuz like he's got 14 heads.
Well, the title says the Blitz Scoreboard Show talking high school football, which maybe we will.
Maybe we will. We're going back to Friday night.
Let's go back in time a little bit. Yeah.
We'll have to fix that.
It's all good.
We'll get it going. Listen, bottom line is, Kuz is all out of sorts today already. Like, he's already mad. He's swearing at things. And he might
Which one
swear
you see that
air.
on?
I see it on Twitter. I see it on Brent Martineau's Twitter. The Blitz Scoreboard.
Well, listen, if you watch the Blitz Scoreboard show, by the way, on Friday night.
Yep.
Well,
I had it on for a little bit. I was watching SmackDown, but I had you in the background a little bit. Yeah.
We're figuring that show out. By the way, that show is it's got potential. I'm a good shit, but it's got potential.
Yeah.
I know. Listen, we're trying to make it.
We're getting there, man.
So then I get a text like on Saturday morning from Nick, boss man Nick, and he's like, hey, the wrong thing was punched up, and the Home and Garden show was on your Periscope and Twitter and everything else. So
there it is, man.
It was another edition of the Blitz Scoreboard show, but it was the Home and Garden show on Saturday morning.
Wait, so now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because think about it, we're tying to a new audience, obviously, an audience maybe not really familiar with sports, but also if people are clicking on to see the Home and Gardening show and they see your mug, might be a couple frowny faces out there.
I don't even think it was my mug. I think it was the Home and Garden show. It just played on my Twitter.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Apparently, hey, we got a few hundred views on it, apparently. I'm well-rounded, people. Tune in every Saturday morning, and I'll give you tips on how to pick weeds.
Let's just get casually, just put the Home and Garden show up there for a couple extra hundred views every once in a while. When we get a little low numbers, Home and Garden show it is.
There you go. Throw it in as a sub.
Let's go.
Meanwhile, hopefully, I don't know if Kuz is going to make it through this show.
What's up, man?
I mean, he just looks so distraught today.
It's Monday, man. You got a case of the Mondays.
It's only a case of the Mondays, even though, Monday's a big day for us. We got to get our stuff in order.
Some would say it's the biggest.
Let's go.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about the Jags.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that moral victories do exist.
Yeah, well, yeah, you are. Listen. See, here's what I say last week. I said that if the Jaguars come out and go punch for punch with the Tennessee Titans, I'll be happy. I don't need the Jacksonville Jaguars to win against the Titans. I just need them to show up and show that they belong. And you know what, Brent? You know what, man? For the most part of that game, the Jaguars don't look like they belonged. They look like the better team, okay? Now, I'm going to curb my enthusiasm just a little bit, though, because it comes down to I saw some mistakes. I saw some mistakes from the coaching side, and obviously the defense, we have to get around to that too as well. So while I am happy, and while I saw the youngest team in the NFL go toe-to-toe with my pick to win the AFC South Division, I also saw a team that maybe left the game on the field. And I think that's where the frustration comes from me a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I guess it's after the first 15 minutes of that, it was okay to almost have to be mad about those kind of things. Mm-hmm. And by the way, you shouldn't be satisfied. There's a big difference between that's the thing. There's a big difference between, say, a moral victory and feeling pretty good about this football team and where it's going and contentment, right? Yeah. And satisfaction. It's a huge difference. So I get it. But I did a poll question last night, and I was like, hey, do you feel pretty good? Is it okay to feel pretty good about this team despite the loss? And we were up to 1,400 votes or something, and 89% of the people said yes, it's okay.
They're jumping on board the Brent Martineau wagon.
Well, because here's the deal. I'm going to give you the stat of the day, right, to start the show, take this one to the water cooler, take it home to the wife and kids, take it home and share it.
Okay.
You don't even have to give me credit for it, even though they'd come out of the Brent Sports Bureau because I did the research. Hopefully it's right. The Brent Sports Bureau doesn't really have a double checker.
Stat Boy Jr., where's Stat Boy at, man?
I don't know. Stat Boy, maybe you could jump in and check this one
Yeah, man,
out.
come on, it's quarantine times. You're good.
So I'm like, when's the last time the Jags have really put like 57? They have 57 points, which is tied with the Kansas City Chiefs through 2 games, okay?
Sure.
That says a lot in itself.
Yep.
And really none of that's on the defensive side.
Oh, you mean from scoring?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Really with very little defensive help.
Zero help. Yeah.
So I was like, wow, when's the last time Jack scored 57 points in 2 consecutive games? Well, to my astonishment,
Probably never.
no, a lot.
Oh, really?
A lot. Yeah, like 2017, they did it like 3 different times. 2016, 14. I was like, wow, I did not realize that. Okay, so that part of the experiment didn't work.
Yeah.
So I went to a different part of the experiment. I said, when is the last time the Jaguars scored 57 points to start a season or more than that? Mm-hmm. Well, here's my numbers. Nice little pink sticky note. And for some reason on pink, I wrote with red markers, so it's very hard to read because I'm getting older. But you have to go all the way back to 1999 and 2000. Mm-hmm. So the 2000 season to find a spot where the Jaguars started the year scoring 57 points or more. That year in 2000, they scored 63. In 1999, they scored 63. In 1997, they scored 68. Those are the 3 highest totals through 2 games the Jags have ever had in franchise history. It's been 20 years, man. Wow. It's been 20 years. And so with that being said, I think to start this year, that's why there's an excitement level that's like, your eyes are not lying, people. This looks a little different. Sure, the Jags had some good performances in 17. They've had some good performances over the years on offense, dating back to 2008, really, but not a lot of them. And this looks different. Even 17, with the strength of that defense, they got so much help from that defense that it didn't look like the offense was doing it. It looked like the defense was doing it. Well, this looks like the offense is doing it. And there's reason to be excited about that. And one of the things we'll talk about today, really 2 of them, is James Robinson the real deal? I mean, has he proven already he's the real deal? And is Gardner Minshew the real deal? Is he already proving he's the real deal, even though he made a couple mistakes in that game that were pretty big? So I think that's why when you say moral victories, you're not allowed to say, yeah, that's okay. Well, I think you're all lying to yourself, quite frankly, because you feel pretty decent about this football team on a Monday morning in Jacksonville, now Monday afternoon. And so if you feel that way, then you're also saying, you know what, maybe you're right. Moral victories are okay in this sense. Now, you can't get satisfied. There's no room for contentment. How do they get better on defense? Do they continue this, or is this a little flash in the pan? Is Jay Gruden really this good? All those questions will be answered. But for now, 2 weeks into the year, we're seeing something different in Jacksonville. And really the biggest part of this is probably something unexpected. Nobody 8 days ago thought the Jaguars would have 57 points, and quite frankly, nobody thought they'd be 1-1.
Listen, I think you can be in a great mood from this just because expectations were so low for this team this year, right? And the way I see it right now through 2 games, what I'm seeing, my questions are being answered already, and to me, the biggest question of this team, and I'll be honest, I had them winning 5 games this season. Now, it's probably going to be a little more, but we'll see from that. I didn't have them winning a lot of games, and I think I even mentioned the T word one time. You know that T word, rhymes with rank, if you will. I'm going to say this, though. I think with Gardner Minshew, he is showing you right now that he could be special. He's showing you right now that he's improved off last year. And to me, that was the biggest question going into the season. Is Gardner Minshew going to be the man? Or are we going to go draft a guy by the name of Trevor Lawrence or Fields or Trey Lance, somebody like that? Through 2 games right now, Gardner Minshew is showing that, listen, I'm not sure what all these rumors are about, hey, we're taking for Trevor, but no, I think my spot's just fine the way it is, and I'm going to be here for a long time. That's what I love. So that was the biggest question for me this season. Is Gardner Minshew the man or not? Through 2 games, yes, there's been some mistakes here or there, but through 2 games, he has shown that he is the man. So the way I see it, well, that question's answered. Everything else right now is gravy. James Robinson, gravy. Chenault, gravy. Jay Gruden play calling, gravy. Like, there's a lot to like about this team on offense that we weren't expecting. But to me, it's the biggest thing. Is Gardner Minshew going to be the guy? And so far, Brent, he's looking dang good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. If you're jumping into the video feed, especially on Twitter, I think it might say Friday Night Blitz Scoreboard. You got the right show. We're going to change that over and stop it and restart it here in just a little bit. So don't panic, but we appreciate you jumping in. It's all Jags talk here on a Monday, no doubt about it. In fact, Josh Scobie will join us at 3:45 because we got to talk about special teams. What was going on there? And this is a football team that can't afford to lose special teams, especially when you have a distinct advantage. They lost special teams yesterday, and that lost them the football game. You can argue. A lot of things do. But you can argue it cost them the football game. Not what I expected. I mean, if they had one advantage in that game, it was special teams. That's the one thing they had a big advantage of going into that game against Tennessee, and it didn't play out that way. One more thought before we go to break, because then we obviously will break it down. Josh Allen's scheduled to join us a little later today as well in the 5 o'clock hour. So we'll see what's up with that defense, and maybe they can get some more pressure, do some things, because that's a problem spot, no doubt about it. One thing I took away, and it's super early in the season, and teams change, right? Minnesota might not be as bad as they look right now. Who knows? Buffalo might not be as good as they look right now. Who knows? It's a long season, and it really does change the ebbs and flows of it. But the Jags went up to Nashville, Tennessee, and they played against a team that represented the AFC in the AFC Championship game last year. And quite frankly, man, I did not see a huge difference between the two. I didn't. Or is that a mirage? Am I right? I mean, listen, that defense is supposed to be good, and the Jags made them look awful. Yeah. What I saw in that game was a couple of calls that they got, a couple of breaks, and that happens in the NFL. I'll complain about those later, but that happens in the NFL. We all can complain about them. You can't, but it just happens, right? It does happen.
Go ahead and complain. I'm going to sit back here and just watch you complain.
I know, but it's fun to complain because why not? I mean, come on,
make yourself feel better, man. That's
whose team is Clowney on after all?
Hey, okay, yeah, we'll break that down. later.
Okay, good.
We'll break that down later.
And the other thing,
the whole offsides. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is, it's as simple as this, right? Last week they get 2 turnovers and they make a couple of big plays and they don't turn it over. Yeah. And this week they turn it over on a couple of plays, and one was kind of a miscommunication, it looked like, with Colin Johnson. The other one gets batted down the line of scrimmage, and they don't force any turnovers. The difference in the game. I mean, that's the NFL. But the Jaguars went toe-to-toe with a team that's in the AFC Championship game a year ago, and they matched them. On the road, despite really looking awful in the early going once again.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they definitely matched them, and they kind of, like I talked about in my 3 takeaway video here on, I posted on YouTube last night. Check it out if you want. If not, whatever.
But you better check it out. Oh, yeah, it's on Facebook, YouTube,
well, then check
Twitter.
It out. Yeah, that whole thing. That whole. It's on Instagram too. I'm not even on Instagram.
You are all over
I'm not even on Instagram. I'm over Instagram?
I'm like photoshopping
really
on things,
No, I'm good,
dude.
Brett. I'm good. Who are you, Mr. Instagram? I'm good, dude.
No,
I'm good.
On TikTok, but we can't get on there anymore.
It shouldn't be selling. Yeah, someone put the kibosh on that.
Short-lived.
But I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. So needless to say, though, the Titans had the game plan, right? And yeah, you're out A.J. Brown and you got Ryan Tannehill, but at the end of the day, guess what, man? You know what you're going to do? They're going to pound the rock. And the Jaguars out-tightened the Titans, if you will. You know, I think they had more rushing yards or not. James Robinson had a better day than Derrick Henry.
He did.
That's all I know, right? And that offensive line was getting pushed all day. For the most part, Minshew was comfortable, stepped in the pocket a couple times. Like, this was a team that we harped on the offensive line a lot, I think, during the offseason. At least I did. And this was a team that Doug Marrone, even Dave Caldwell said, we like our offensive line. We're not going to change too much. We're going to add this guy, Ben Barch, but that's about it. Everything else is going to remain the same. And I think myself and a lot of fans around the community were like, what are you guys doing? You know, like we saw what was last year. What's going to be the change? Well, was Cam Robinson's knee really hurt last year, right? Is this new kind of maybe blocking philosophy a little bit where you go straight forward as opposed to the zone kind of read stuff? Is that a difference? Like there's this offensive line right now, it's playing very well. If we talk about Minshew, we talk about James Robinson and obviously Chenault, all this stuff. I think we have to give more props to offensive line as well because they've really stepped up this year so far in these first 2 games.
That's a big part. I want to talk about a little bit the physical nature of that game yesterday that jumped out to me, and we'll get to it. What we liked, what we didn't like. That's coming up next when Talk Jags. Josh Scobie will join us. I want to know more about that squib kick. What the hell is a power kick, and can we ban it from the game?
It's called a power kick? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay.
Can we ban it?
Yeah.
And whose decision was it?
Yeah.
And why are we outsmarting ourselves? I mean, what are we doing here? This is good. What are we doing here?
We're definitely paying.
What's the date right now?
No, I know, but we're definitely paying on this one because this is a real song. This Earth, Wind, and Fire. Get ready to cut the check,
Clues
Nick.
needed to lift his spirits. I mean,
I guess so.
We got the Friday Night Blitz scoreboard show
We
up
do,
today to
we do.
start.
It's
And
rough.
we're losing viewers by the dozens
By
here.
the dozens here. Well, but we're about to lose our studio by the dozens because we got to pay for this song here. This is a real song. we cannot afford this one.
All right, we'll be back. ESPN 690 904 9901. You can always jump in star 690 as well. Oh, yeah. We're bopping around on a Monday even after a loss. So close to another Minshew Monday. That'll have to wait until after Thursday night's game. We'll be back here on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A good deal of cloud cover, very breezy today with some drizzle or an isolated shower at times, only in the 70s, dropping tonight into the 60s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Hurry! It's the last time you'll get 5 years, 0 interest this year.
Okay, boss, here's the house. Been watching it all week.
And you're sure it only has a big blue alarm system?
Yep, that means we should have all the time we need.
Yeah, still can't believe Big Blue Alarm is allowing their employees to monitor alarm systems while they're working from home.
Yeah, let's see, how many times do I get distracted when I'm at my house?
Right? Well, let's just hope the Big Blue operator monitoring this house just started binge watching a TV show.
Meanwhile, right across the street, Safe Touch is still as steady as can be with the fastest guaranteed response time anywhere.
And that is why we're standing on the outside of the house with the Big Blue Alarm.
Just following the Crooks of Us motto, stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah. All right, let's get busy.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Donato's Pizza is proud to support the Florida State Seminoles. When it comes to pizza for game time, we can suit any taste. From 100 pepperonis on a large loaded edge-to-edge on smoked provolone and Romano, to our delicious and healthy cauliflower crust tomato bruschetta with plant-based sausage, mariachi chicken to the founder's favorite, and more. We offer a convenient pickup window or prompt delivery. Just give Donato's a try. That's all we ask. Order at 904donatos.com or call 904-DONATOS on your phone.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Our legal team can help you understand your options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office of Jacksonville.
Want a party? Here's an invitation. The team at CDC Water is throwing a party, and you're invited. 50 years ago, Connecticut innovated water non-electric celebrating with you. Come on out. Saturday, September 26th from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Celebrate with huge savings on salt and get 50% off Connecticut filters. There will be hourly drawings for great prizes, and there will be music out there as well. The team will be available to answer any questions, and they want to welcome you to the Connecticut family. Safety guidelines will be adhered to ensure all attendees enjoy the day in a safe,
healthy environment. Visit 2181 St. John's Bluff Road South, right here in Jacksonville, Saturday, September 26th from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. and celebrate 50 years of providing customers with safe, clean, purified drinking water. If you are not filtering your water, you are the filter. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
It's a busy time right now as the kids head back to school. COVID-19 is still lingering, and flu season is right around the corner. Clean air and home comfort have never more important. Clean air equals healthier air. Your friends at Bold City Heating and Air offer duct sanitation and air purification. Meaning not only will your Bold City Heating and Air be chilly cold, but also free of any microbacteria or nasty viruses that may try to make your home their home. Never fear what you can't see again. For only $499, a Bold City Heating and Air sanitation and purification package will give you peace of mind knowing your family is breathing fresh, clean air. Let the team at Bold City Heating and Air take care of your air and comfort. Be bold with COVID and flu season and sanitize your ducts for only $499. Simply with a call to Bold City Heating and Air at 904-379-1648. That's 904-379-1648. Or visit boldcityac.com. Bold City Heating and Air. Be bold and stay cold.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pets' changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
The ride you want, the savings you need. Oh, and when it comes to credit approval, almost everyone gets approved. Sounds like it's time to get it all and get to Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Finding the best ride starts with big-time selection. And at Arlington Toyota, you'll find over 750 new and pre-owned on the lot every day. Right now at Arlington, shop over 100 quality pre-owned cars to buy at 0 down and just $199 a month. Looking for a truck or SUV? Arlington's got 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs to buy at 0 down and $269 a month. With Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. Now, when I say get it all at Arlington, I mean it, because you'll get a 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Just another way that Arlington goes the extra mile for you. Get it all when you shop pre-owned at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Jaguars gave the Titans all they could handle, but in the end, the Music City took home the W with a late field goal, bringing the final of 33-30. Here's head coach Doug Marrone reacting to the tough loss.
Credit to Tennessee. They were able to make some plays, and at the end of the day, we weren't able to make a play to get us over the top or stop a play. So that's where we are.
Despite losing, the offense came to win. Minshew went for 339 yards and 3 touchdowns, while rookie running back James Robinson continued to impress with 102 yards, a TD, and average of over 6 yards per carry. Notable also was rookie K'Lavon Chaisson getting his first career sack. And across the NFL yesterday, the story was injuries. Top names going down include Saquon Barkley and Nick Bosa, both with ACLs, and many more across the league. If you're working from home and want to listen to ESPN, tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
Daniel says we went from hot Cheetos to shampoo, raising the intellectual portion of the show.
Austin Lane.
I'm wearing a sleeveless t-shirt. What more do you want from us, man?
It's Friday.
We never said we're intellectual.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I got a few completions. That's always good to get it started the right way. That last one, it sucks. I feel like I had Keelan coming underneath, and ball got tipped up in the air. Just a bad way to lose. But, there's a lot of good, and we're going to learn from it and move forward.
That's Gardner Minshew. Man, I got lambasted on social media.
Oh, Brett.
What the heck is up with this? I got lambasted on social media for a small, mild bit of criticism of Gardner Minshew.
What'd you say about him?
I get
careful now, because you've been in that guy's house, so be careful.
I get crushed when I say too many positive things. I get crushed on moral victories. And I criticize the QB a little bit because that's what I saw yesterday. You can tell me if I'm right. And I don't know if he would disagree with me. I thought there were 2 or 3 plays that he looked indecisive. One, the sack play where he was indecisive instead of just throwing it away, he ran for it. It was a bad sack. Yeah, they were moving the ball, and it took him out of it. It foiled the possession. I mean, Tennessee wasn't stopping them. They stopped themselves. And I thought yesterday, and maybe it wasn't on him in terms of his decisiveness. I think now in hindsight, you look more at that play. Somebody said Tyler Eifert fell down on the last play of the game or was falling down, and so he pumped where it looked like to me he was indecisive whether should I throw it or should I not, but maybe it was more the receiver fell down, and then you got the mistake. You got the batted down ball. So I don't really think indecision. Listen, he's a decisive guy usually. That's what we like about him.
Yeah.
And I thought there were a couple plays yesterday where some of that indecision, I think there was another play early in the game, kind of almost cost him or did catch him.
So the one interception, I don't indecisiveness, because if you go back and watch it, like there was literally 2 receivers kind of in the same second, it was in the same area, right? And I think it was Colin Johnson, right?
One, that was Colin Johnson.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So I'm talking about the last play of the game.
Gotcha.
Last play of the game, he pumped a couple of times. So
Yeah.
to me, it was indecisive, but it was apparently Eifert kind of was falling down, and that's why he pumped.
Yeah, exactly.
But that play right there, and then the sack play, to me, said indecision at the time when I tweeted that.
So the other one you're talking about with the interception, where it got tipped, you're right about.
That wasn't that. That was, I think, on the rookie, and it was on spacing to me. But it was on. That would have been completed pass if Colin Johnson didn't hit it.
Who got the interception, by the way, too?
Oh, Fulton. I thought about that.
No, let me go. Who was it? Fulton? Who was that?
I was thinking of that.
Fulton. I heard that name.
When they said Christian Fulton, I'm like, did I just lose another bet?
Where's he from? LSU? Cornerback? Or was he safety? Cornerback.
Guy makes one play and a
Fulton.
ball that I could have freaking caught.
What is your guy doing right now? Is he even in the league still?
Big name I heard was mentioned last week in the game.
Oh, I'll look
Not
into
forgetting
it.
beat.
Fair enough.
These Cowboys, he only gave up 39.
I bet I'm not Ryan Hatfield. It's all good.
All right, here's the deal. So anyway, listen, it's okay to criticize you a little bit. I thought he was really good. There's a lot, so let's get right into it. What did you like about yesterday? Okay, that's where we're going to go first. And I've got a pretty long list. And one of the things is I thought you started slow. I thought the ball looked like it was sailing. Forget about the Colin Johnson play. I know he tipped it, okay? But the Willer was up above him, and you can't throw that ball to a fullback, okay? So that sailed. The ball came out of his hands, I think, funny even on the completion because Chenault, when there were 2 guys in the same area, but Chenault up and caught it. I just think he didn't look sharp. He was 2 for his first 6. He had the pick because of the deflection, and it's just like, man, he didn't look like the guy right now that's all last week. Well, what you got to love about Minshew is in the past over a decade, when it looks bad like in Jacksonville, wearing that uniform, they stay bad. And it becomes a disaster. He bounced back. And by the time the second half's rolling around, boom, 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 9 for 9 the second half. I thought he then threw some beautiful balls to Chris Thompson, to Tyler Eifert. Guys made some plays for him, too. But I love resiliency of Minshew, who's the face of this team. It's his team. And he showed resiliency along with the football team yesterday. I loved it.
And it helps with the run game as well, right? Because no matter what the Titans are trying to do on, whether they didn't take James Robinson seriously, whether they're trying to guard you, beat him, whatever the scheme was. Keep in mind who we're talking about here. The Titans defense, right? This was the defense that figured out the Rubik's Cube that was Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens last year. So I hold the Tennessee Titans defense in high regard. Now, yeah, maybe you had a couple of injuries here or there, but they're a fantastic defense, well coached. With that being said, falling back on that run game like that with James Robinson, you were able to open up Gardner Minshew, and he got that hot streak for a while there. The biggest takeaway for me with Gardner Minshew from his first year to his second is he's a lot more comfortable in the pocket. right? How many times do we see Gardner Minshew step up, then step back, then move a little bit, and just, that internal clock, it never, made him panic, right? Last year, we would have saw Minshew step back a little bit. Oh, man, this doesn't feel right. There's too much space, and take off a little bit. And what happened? He would get sacked, he would fumble, or he would make a great play. Those days are gone now. Now we're seeing a lot more calm, collected, and patient Gardner Minshew, who still has the ability to take off, obviously, with his feet, but he's scanning the field. He's looking down receivers. He's checking down all this stuff. And I'm telling you, man, I said this before my video too late. From a defensive lineman, from a rushing perspective, that sucks to play guys like that. Because now you can't just pin your ears back and go. You have to mind your pews and make sure, okay, where is he? Is he on my level? I have to work back inside. I have to work a counter move. When you start playing those head games with the defensive linemen, it slows their rush down a bit, and you get a lot more time in the pit, and it's a lot more time to diagnose defenses and make big plays.
Well, to go hand in hand, you got to go Jay Gruden again. Last week, I thought it was the best called game I've seen. This one, I'm not sure I put it in that category, although it looked very good, and he probably did make a lot of the right calls, and I don't remember too many bad ones. Quite frankly, I think they didn't execute a couple of things, and they needed to execute everything, really, to be able to win that game the way special team defense played. But, man, a rhythm to start the season with his quarterback in this offense is spectacular. Jay Gruden, I might have tweeted, I got a man crush on this guy already.
Tag me in that, by the way. And then this is why I don't live tweet during games usually, because people get so emotional.
They do.
And people get so starstruck, and they have hearts on their eyes where you fall in love with Jay. And you know what, though? I'm going to be honest. If you're going to fall in love with somebody, Brent, it's probably a good coordinator to fall in love with right now. The problem is, though, let's be honest. Tell him to calm down just a little bit. Because like I want to see right now, after the year, everyone's like, oh, well, Gruden's gone. He's going someplace else to coach as a head coach. Now, listen, I love this Jaguars offense, but as Gardner Minshew's thriving, as they keep on putting up point after point, the pessimist in me is like, well, you guys got to calm down just a little bit, because Gruden has a job for next year.
You just keep in mind, if I have a man crush on Jay Gruden, that could actually also be John Gruden or Aliendo. So I've got options. Here we go. What else did you like? Man, can Robinson look into the Minshew and Robinson thing?
Yeah.
But my goodness, man. I mean, this kid looks good. I mean, for an organization and a front, it's just not, you can't trust him, right? You don't, but the fan base doesn't trust him. It does. They don't. They wanted him on. They might still want him gone. I'm saying one move or 2 games changes that. But they told us this kid was good. They found this guy.
Yeah.
And they had 12 picks they could draft a running back. They took this guy undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
And holy cats, man. I mean, he looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really good. Like, it doesn't look lucky. He looks good.
Yeah. So, listen. My comparison of a player last week, and I just looked up this guy's numbers. So this player right here that I talked about last week, his first game, 31 attempts, 135 yards. That's 4.35 average yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Second game, kind of a bummer of a game, 8 attempts, 17 yards, but had a touchdown, okay? And keep in mind, he had a couple catches in each of those games as well. James Conner, okay? This, to me, is James Conner reincarnated. Right, where Doug Marrone came out and said, we like this guy. I'm not sure, did Dave Cole actually mention him too or not? Or was it just Doug?
Might have just been Doug.
Okay, just Doug. Okay, but regardless though, Doug comes out and says, we really like this guy. They let Leonard Fournette go. I was against it. I said it makes your offense worse, right? I said that makes Gardner Minshew worse. I don't know who this James Robinson guy is. I know he's from Illinois State. I know I don't like Illinois State at all. I know I played there. They're fans. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Fans are very disrespectful. They had some really mean names for me, Brent, and I'm emotional about it. Still emotional about it. So I didn't know who James Robinson was. And I think the Titans didn't really know who he was, and obviously the Colts didn't know as well either. But what you have here, and listen, the touchdown in the end zone, that whatever, 20-yard, whatever, 25 yards, once again, gravy. Okay?
17-yarder, yeah.
17 yards, okay. Gravy, right? All I need James Robinson to do is fall forward and get us 3 to 4 yards per pop. If you can do that, that opens up Gruden's offense so drastically, where it's like, well, now you have options. Now you have Chenault. And then now you have Eifert. You have all these options at your disposal. And this is the difference, Brent, between this year and the previous years, right? Where when you have Leonard Fournette, who I still think is a great back, right? He had a pretty good game for Tampa Bay, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But when you had Fournette, you took too many negative plays, let's just say. Now, whether that was on Fournette, whether that was on the play calling, the blocking, a little combination of both, but we're accustomed to seeing, all right, well, first down, here's a -2 yard rush, right? With James Robinson, the guy refuses to get tackled in the backfield. Now, once again, you got to praise the offensive line because they're getting a fantastic push, but also one guy can't bring this dude down, right? I don't care if you're a defensive tackle. I don't care if you're a linebacker. One guy can't bring this guy down. So you have to gang tackle him a little bit. Anytime you have a guy you have to gang tackle, you're guaranteed to get positive yardage. And that's what's making this Jaguars offense drive so well right now. It's the fact that you have a guy who gets you positive yard after positive yard.
All right. What else did I like from this game? The offensive line, you brought it up. They've now played against two pretty good fronts. I asked the question all last week. Did DeForest Buckner play in that football game again for Indianapolis? Couldn't tell. Norvell and A.J. Cann did their job. And Brandon Linder. Yesterday, against another front that I saw on Monday night, looked pretty good. In Clowney and Simmons. Did Simmons play yesterday? Ring the bell for Simmons. Maybe not. Don't ring
the bell, man. Mute that bell.
Well, because he didn't show up, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, they couldn't stop anything. The offensive line's opening up some holes. They're doing a decent job or a good job protecting. Tyler Shatley comes in off the bench, and quite frankly, no disrespect to Brandon Linder, but I didn't think they missed anything there. And good news on Brandon Linder today. Doesn't look like he'll miss much time. And you want Brandon Linder in there. He's a very good player and probably their best offensive lineman, at least with a resume. And so you want him in there. Doesn't look he's not going on IR. Looks like he's day-to-day. We'll see if he plays Thursday night, but it looks like it's not long-term for Linder, which is a very good thing, especially given what happened in the NFL yesterday to so many. But I asked somebody about their offensive line today. They said A.J. Cann's playing really good football. Now, again, I don't know. I'm just relaying that. I don't watch A.J. Cann play, but really good. I thought Norvell played really well last week. I don't know if he did this week. And I don't hear Cam Robinson's name mentioned. I heard Jawan Taylor late in that game missed an assignment. That was the only play I saw from him. So playing pretty good, and they're playing physical against two pretty good fronts.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was a test for them, right? I mean, to me, this was even more of a test than the Colts were. Like, the Colts have their own good defensive line, but like in terms of physicality, what we've been preaching all week, I thought the Jaguars were up to the challenge and actually exceeded the challenge for the most part of that game. And it just begs the question now where it's like, is this offensive line, is this who they are? You know, because like week one, it's like, all right, well, we saw glimpses and things like that, but what does 1 week really tell you? Well, now we saw 2 weeks of this. Right, so 2 weeks against two good defensive lines, against two well-coached defenses, to say the least. It begs the question, like, are we about to see, I guess, an offensive juggernaut now in the NFL? And then when's the last time you could talk about a Jacksonville Jaguars team being in the top 10 of anything in terms of offense?
Yeah, well, I mean, they actually were in 2017. It just didn't feel that way.
Well,
they finished overall
offense?
at number 6, but it just didn't feel that way. You know, they scored 26.1 points a game. Right now, the Jaguars, if they could keep this up, they're averaging more points than any other team in franchise history per game.
Sure.
In actuality, that 2017 team was first in franchise history per game in points. Believe it or not, even more so than like that 99 team and others. And I gave you the stat earlier. This is the stat to me. Jaguars have scored more points in the first 2 games of the season than in 20 years. You have to go all the way back to 2000 to score more points in the first 2 games combined than this Jacksonville Jaguars football team, and it's all about the offense right now. All right, before we take a break, we're going to get Josh Scobie in here in just a couple because we do have some bad things to talk about, but a couple more good real quick. Jags are making adjustments at halftime. Even their defense, which is maligned, and Todd Wash is maligned, they only gave up 123 yards in the second half. And you could tell they had 3 stops in a row. I mean, I know that's like, hey, Brent, that's like what you're supposed to do. Well, teams had punted once in like the first 7 quarters against them.
Yeah.
So I'm up for baby steps here and giving your team a chance to win. They made a couple of critical stops. They've got a lot of work to do. But I'm just saying, I feel like there's adjustments being made. And I haven't always felt like that in the past. And then the last one is this. I asked you this question. Will this lunch pail team that the Jaguars have, that we think they have, will they bring their hard hat? Will they want to go tackle Derrick Henry? Will they want to play physical football at the brand that the Titans play? Man, I'll tell you what. I thought they wanted to.
Yeah.
every ounce of that yardage was hard-earned for Derrick Henry. And it was only 84 yards on 25 carries. Every team in the NFL will sign up for that. I understand the passing's different. Let's not get into that just yet. That's going to come in the bag.
It goes hand in hand, yeah.
But I'm just saying, forget about the yardage and everything. I thought they brought the physical nature to Tennessee, which you have to match that. And I think that was a good thing.
Listen, they did bring the physical nature to the Titans' offensive line. And for the most part, they did shut down Derrick Henry. You can't deny that. And at the end of the game, you saw a Titans team who they lost their identity, right? Like, I don't think they were planning on throwing this much during that game, right? I mean, yeah, Tannehill had 4 touchdowns. He had a great game, but, like, that wasn't in the script. And towards the end, you can kind of see, like, man, we're not comfortable doing this. We want to run the ball with Derrick Henry a little more. So the Jaguars did a great job of taking away who the Tennessee Titans were. But obviously, when you put all your chips in one basket, you leave another empty basket to the side of that. Yeah. And that's what happened in the pass game, unfortunately, for that Jaguars secondary.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We got What Didn't We Like coming up in just a little bit. And part of that is special teams. We got Josh Scobie on speed dial. What was that at the end of the first half? I mean, it might have cost him the football game. I'm not willing to say just that cost him the game, but it might have. Well, and what was that?
And let's just put it like this. I always say that not one play defines a football game, but 2 or 3 big plays always does.
Well, and that was one of the 2 or 3.
Kick right there, that was a huge play call, and that kind of defined the game, if you will.
All right, Josh Scobie coming up next. We talk the squib kick, the power kick. What the heck is that? It's next on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690, the home of the Florida State Seminoles in Jacksonville.
Duke goes down to defeat Florida State 79. Duke 74.
Basket lays. Oh, it drops. It drops with 1.8 seconds to go.
Here's the snap. Winston rolling right close to pass on the other. It's caught. It's caught. It's caught.
You'll hear Knowles football and men's basketball right here on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio and the Florida State Seminoles.
Boss, check out this headline in the Crooks R Us newsletter. Big Blue Alarm now allowing contact center employees to work from home.
Whoa, all of them?
Not quite. Says 88% of Big Blue employees are working from home.
Wonder if their customers know that the people monitoring their alarm are probably sitting at the kitchen table in their underwear.
Hey, maybe that's one of the reasons Big Blue doesn't have a guaranteed response.
That is an excellent point. Too bad Safe Touch Security isn't more like Big Blue Alarm.
Wishful thinking, boss. Listen to this. Safe Touch Security still leads the way with the fastest response time in the industry. Boss, how do they do it?
Doesn't matter. We still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Do that and we'll be fine.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
The current coronavirus outbreak has caused difficulties for many of our area's small businesses. From losing customers to falling behind in payments, business owners need help. At SCORE, our highly trained counselors are here to help. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to almost 6,000 individuals annually. We are currently mentoring virtually and identifying possible financial assistance through the SBA and other resources. Visit jacksonville.score.org for links with more information.
At 1-to-1 Financial, we're proud to support dozens of the best breweries and restaurants in Jacksonville. And as the hometown credit union, we have one thing to ask. Please invest in Jacksonville. Now more than ever. Go on out and enjoy some great local food and beer. We'll make it easy. Head over to Kingmaker Brewing in Riverside on September 25th to the 27th and October 2nd to the 4th for socially distanced Oktoberfest. The beer is awesome and it's just $12 to get in. Google Kingmaker Brewing or check 1to1fcu.org for details. Man, that Gardner Minshew can throw over mountains, can't he?
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them, ESPN690.com.
There's some things I think that, we can improve upon, obviously, and we will. And, we don't have a lot of time because we got this quick turnaround. So, credit to Tennessee. They were able to make some plays. And at the end of the day, we weren't able to make a play to get us over the top or stop a play. So that's where we are.
That is Doug Marrone talking about the loss yesterday to Tennessee, 33-30. We're going to get to now the part that stings about the loss, right? There are so many good things about it, and there's a decent feeling in town. I think given the expectation, that's fair enough. I know everybody's you just won't admit to yourself moral victories and all that. I get it. But this team has an offense. They're fun to watch. I tweeted yesterday, we have a fun football team in Jacksonville. I've been here 12 years. Haven't said it a lot. Just haven't.
Yeah.
And it's like the trend in the NFL right now, I think through 2 weeks, they're averaging the combined score is 50 points. I think it's the most ever. Well, isn't it kind of cool that now the Jags are keeping up with the trend? They're doing their part. They're averaging 28.5. So that's the good stuff. The bad stuff is their defense is awful, quite frankly. I mean, right now through 2 games, it's bad. And their special teams is supposed to be good, and they let them down in a big-time way yesterday. You can't lose special teams with this team, especially to the Titans, who are struggling. Let's bring in the special teams ace right here in Jacksonville. Josh Scobie, former Jaguars kicker, joins us. I had him on speed dial today. I said, man, I didn't think we'd be talking about a squib kick in week number 2 being such a big deal. But what the heck was that?
Oh, man, that was just a case of bad luck and maybe another case of a bad call by whoever called it, special teams coach or Doug Marrone.
Yeah, okay, be honest with us now. Who does make that call? Is that kind of up to Lambeau and DeCamillis, the special teams coordinator? Does that come from the head coach usually? Who does call it? I
mean, in the 12 years I played and the squib kicks that I had, they always came from the special teams coach. And, in all honesty, I never liked doing them because, number one, I've been, kicking touchbacks for a long, long time. And you just assume that you can kick another touchback with ease, whether that was Lambeau or Logan Cook out there. So, whoever was on that front line who knocked the ball down, it was just a good play by him. I don't know if he was coached to do it or if Lambeau kind of mishit it like directly at him, but want. And typically the special teams coach is going to tell you, you need to get the ball at least through the front line on the kickoff return team. And, obviously it turned out to be a bad situation, but typically I would always like to do squibs when it was going to be the last play of the half. There was no chance for them to run another offensive play. So maybe, with 5 seconds left on the clock, not how much the Jags and Titans had on the clock.
Yeah, there were like a dozen seconds left.
Yeah. Josh, obviously there's 12 seconds left. One could think you kick it in the end zone or you kick it, towards the goal line, everything like that. They take the knee, they come out, and they probably just, that's it. Like, they're not trying to go down and score, especially with the Jaguars' momentum and everything. So I guess my question is, and we've seen squib kicks all the time. I've been part of squib kick coverages, if you will, but I guess I've never really understood of what exactly is the goal of this squib kick. Like, why do you even implement it? Because you said it yourself. You're not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah, I guess the end goal of it is to get the ball in the hands of someone who doesn't typically return it. So you want to get it down to like a second or third level guy and not actually to the returner. So there's not much of a chance of a big return. And it's also to, run out the clock. But in that situation, they just got unlucky with the ball getting knocked down. And who knows, maybe Mike Vrabel didn't like it at first whenever the ball got knocked down, because then the Jags could have recovered. But obviously Tennessee got the ball in great field position.
Yeah, I don't know. Josh Scobie, by the way, with us, former Jags kicker. I hope you're doing well, man. Good to have you on and good to talk to you.
Yeah.
The Jaguars lose 33-30, and a big play in this game was the squib kick, but that wasn't it. Jaguars special teams was not good. The last punt by Logan Cook, not good. The missed extra point by Lambeau. I have a hard time faulting Lambeau for too much. I mean, he's been so good. He's been so good. You know, I mean, so Again, it's hard to fault him. I will say this about Cook. Logan Cook was really good last year overall, but he got off to a slow start last year too. Is that a thing sometimes where punters and maybe even kickers take a little bit to get in a groove?
Well, especially this year with, not having preseason games and just jumping straight into games that count for your team and for your individual statistics. So, yeah, maybe each one of them needed a little bit of time to get going. And Logan has done a fantastic job since he's been here with the Jags and had an amazing year last year. And I'm sure he'll bounce back. He had an untimely bad punt at the end of the game that gave the Titans good field position. And like you said with Lambeau, I mean, you can't blame him for much right now because of how well he's done since he got here as well. And it was just really bad luck and untimely special teams.
Speaking of bad luck, Stephen Gostkowski last week, he goes 1 for 4. Yeah, 1 for 4, and then missed an extra point in Denver. And then obviously Vrabel has a connection with him. He keeps him on the team, and Vrabel he hits 2 field goals that put the Jaguars
51 and 49.
Yeah,
those weren't
pretty
huge.
Josh, were you kind of surprised that Vrabel opted to keep Gostkowski on the team, or would you expected him to go in a new direction after that abysmal start in Denver?
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a really bad start to your season that Gostkowski had in week 1. But, I mean, he's one of the best and most accurate kickers of all time. And Vrabel knows that he's reliable. So you rarely ever cut a kicker after week 1. They're just going to give you a little bit of leeway. Although that was a really bad game for him, you're rarely going to see a kicker getting cut after week 1. And he obviously bounced back in a good way for them.
Hey, Josh Scobie hanging out with us here for another minute or so. I think, am I putting too much into the basket that their special teams is good? Like, I think it's an advantage most weeks for them. I like their special teams. Deacon Miller's one of the best. Josh Lambeau's been unbelievable. Logan Cook is good. I have faith in him. I guess we're still learning about their cover teams, but am I over-dramatizing maybe that they are good? Do you think they'll be up and down, inconsistent? What's your view of them?
Well, last year they were one of the best in the NFL in all phases of special teams. And, this year we're only 2 games in, so the sample size is pretty small. But they have the pieces in terms of the kicker and punter to do well. It's just a matter of getting the coverage and the return teams up to speed and not having what happened yesterday happen again.
I know you pay close attention to this stuff. I mean, have you had fun watching these guys? I mean, you got way more confidence than you did maybe 8 days ago in this season?
Oh, absolutely. I tweeted out yesterday that I think the Jags are and can be a really good team, and they're certainly fun to watch. The offense is fun. It's clicking right now. The defense obviously has a long way to go. They have to somehow get some pass rush going and create some more opportunities to get pressure on the quarterback. But I think this team is going to be a lot better than what I expected and what a lot of people expected.
Is your average driving distance off the tee down in the last few weeks due to all the rain?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. That's a random off-subject question, but heck, yeah, this rain is killing me and everyone else.
Yeah, throw that golf question in, don't you, Brent?
Absolutely.
You contain yourself.
I don't even...
Can't contain yourself.
I might go... Listen, I will say this. I wasn't having that much fun with the Open yesterday. Those 2 guys in it. I almost felt bad about it. But DeChambeau doesn't do much for me, Scobie.
He doesn't do much for you. He gained 40-something pounds and about 50 yards on his drive. That doesn't do much for you.
What more do you want from the guy, Brent?
Yeah.
He's putting his own health on the line for your entertainment. You can't even watch him?
I know, he's just boring. He's kind of awkward. It's just, I don't know. I can't get into it.
And I don't even follow golf. You know what? I'm into that. I'm into that kind of dedication. Dang.
It's true. I mean, he turned it into a U.S. Open championship. Maybe I should be better.
Yeah.
Josh,
Stop being a hater.
Thanks for jumping in, man.
Yeah, guys, y'all have a good one.
All right, Josh Kobe, former Jags kicker, talking about the squib kick and special teams with the Jags. We'll see where it goes from here. I do believe in their special teams.
Yeah.
But they can't afford that, man. The margin for error is too thin. I mean, that's just the way they're built right now. They can't do that. Could have won them a game. Could have snuck out of there with a win if things went right on special teams. But Tennessee won that portion of the game. When we come back, what else went wrong, and how do you fix the defense? Can you fix it? Plus a little Visca bingo on the way in the 4 o'clock hour on ESPN 690.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent. With help from Family Support Services of North Florida, you provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster.org. That's foster-now.org.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference, like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Dave Benyon here with Zero Res. Don't miss the hottest deal of the year. For September, we're going back in time to 16 years ago. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $99. Give us a call at Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
ESPN 690 wants you to shop the 904. And by doing that, you keep most of the money and jobs right here on the First Coast. Plus, local businesses give our community its uniqueness and character that makes living on the First Coast so great.
Shop the 904.
Goodyear believes in the power of moving forward. No matter if it's on the track, the court, or the field, movement makes us want to be more. It pushes us to go further, to show the world what we can do. Movement has the unique ability to change our perspective, to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still, because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven. It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
An MRI has confirmed Giants star running back Saquon Barkley has a torn ACL, is out the rest of the season. Former Falcons running back Devontae Freeman visits the Giants tomorrow. Broncos receiver Cortland Sutton has a torn ACL. His season's over. Denver QB Drew Lock, rotator cuff strain, out 3 to 5 weeks. Vikings linebacker Anthony Barr heading to IR with a torn pectoral muscle. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting Seahawks spear linebacker Bruce Irvin has a torn ACL. He's undergoing more testing. Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey expected to be sidelined 4 to 6 weeks because of an ankle injury, and a tough season in Carolina got a whole lot worse with the McCaffrey injury, believes ESPN's Ryan Clark.
I believed it was over after watching these first 2 games anyway with Christian McCaffrey, but if they don't have them, the aptitude of this team on offense without having that versatile Swiss Army knife, and this is a huge blow for the Panthers, and we won't be seeing them make any noise in the NFC South this year.
Ryan Clark. The Raiders debut their new stadium in Las Vegas against the Saints tonight, Monday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern, ABC, ESPN TV, and the ESPN.
Did you know that right now, Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. So what are you waiting for? Visit geico.com to learn more.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
He's a cool guy. You know, he don't get on to people. He knows everyone's strengths and weaknesses, and he plays to them. And, you know, he has confidence in us, and we have confidence in him. And he's been obviously helping us out a lot. This is the first time in a while that we've been able to move the ball efficiently. And I think it's due to a lot of different just changes and mindsets in the, on the team.
That is DJ Chark. Wow, DJ took a big hit in that game and just got right up. Another well-designed play. I thought the receivers really made catches, too. Chris Conley's come to mind. Laviska Shenault went up and got it. DJ O'Shaughnessy took a big hit on one. Eifert with a nice catch in the end zone. There's just something in sync about this offense, and even when Minshew maybe isn't right on the money, a guy makes a play. That happens around the NFL. Like, I can't tell you how many times we've said on a Sunday night, and we're like, why don't the Jags? We're watching, like, the highlights, maybe on, like, Chris Berman, right, as he's going through these plays or whoever, Sunday night game. We're like, why don't any of the Jags guys make that play? Why don't the Jags? Like, across the league, people make those plays. Well, I think the first two games, I think they're fitting in with those guys across the league that are making those plays. I mean, really nice plays, really nice passes, and efficiency about the offense. And quite frankly, the Tennessee Titans did not stop the Jags. Yeah. The Jags kind of stopped themselves on a few possessions, and that was it. They were running up and down that field. So it's a good thing in that regard. The problem is the other team's running up and down the field too.
Well, and this was the thing I was so adamant about to start week one against the Colts. And maybe I misspoke a little bit here now, reflecting on it a little bit. But I said that I can't see the Jacksonville Jaguars winning any kind of track meet, right? Well, after 2 weeks right now, and a track meet last week was definitely, bound to happen. But I think with track meets right now, Brent, you have to ask yourself, well, this defense is porous, all right? And this defense will give up points. But do they have the offensive firepower to overcome it? Now, let's assume real quick that the special teams plays better, right? Let's assume real quick that we don't see squib kicks every single week. Can you see these Jacksonville Jaguars winning high-scoring games?
Yeah, I think it might be the only way they win.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
It's like I was glad they had the ball last.
Yeah,
I had confidence in Minshew in the offense, and the first two plays were great. I mean, they were positive plays. There was a lot to like, and I honestly think if that ball hits the ground, I think the Jaguars are going to at least tie the game up at the end. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. The ball gets deflected, and it's kind of one of those plays. But if that ball hits the ground and it's 3rd and 1 now, the Jags are going to tie the game up. Now, they might lose in overtime. But they were going to tie the game up. Like, there was not a doubt in my mind. I don't think there's a doubt in many people's minds that was about to happen. Before we get into some more of the negative stuff and what went wrong and can they fix, let's get to Steven. He's on the line, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. What's up, man?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We are good. Can you play defense?
Hey, I played defense growing up, so I'm right there. Anyways, what I saw in the game is a lot of times Tannehill went to the side and picking on Andrew Wingard a little bit. Do you think maybe, and this is a huge hypothetical, let's say we get a good lead on the Dolphins, do you think maybe we can experiment with maybe the draft pick we got Daniel Thomas, because Andrew Wingard got picked on and got beat a lot.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it. That's Steven with a call on Wingard. And listen, he's getting a lot of heat today. I have a couple of thoughts on Wingard, okay? I think most teams, when you go to your second safety, and especially a team that's already a little bit thin in the secondary, I think you're going to have some issues. You know, I mean, that challenges your depth. And I'm just being honest with you. I'm not making an excuse for them. I just think the Jags are not in that position yet where they feel comfortable, where they can roll out 4 different safeties and make plays. I think you're going to give up stuff. I think they have C.J. Henderson. I think he's a good player, but I think he's going to give up stuff. I think he's going to take some lumps. I mean, I've said that for months now. And I understand there's a standard. I understand you're in the NFL. I understand you should be making plays and you shouldn't just be letting people go up and down the field. I get it. But the bottom line is, if you didn't think at times this pass defense was going to be an eyesore, you're kidding yourself. I mean, it's just kind of the way it's built right now. They got rid of a lot of good players on defense last year. They have a lot of young players that we have no idea how they're going to play, and I think they're going to take their lumps. Now, to Wingard more specifically, I thought he had good coverage in the end zone, man. You got to have some time. There's too much time for Tannehill, and he's got a size disadvantage there, whether that's the scheme and the matchup problem or not. I thought he covered Jonnu Smith very well in the end zone. They made a nice play, and that's just a play in the NFL. Sometimes the other guy makes it. Again, if you could get a little pressure, would have helped because he had all day.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I say it all the time. The defensive line and the cornerbacks, they work hand in hand. And right now, you have one of the youngest secondaries, if not the youngest secondary in the entire NFL. And when you have that, you have to bail them out a little bit. You have to have their back. And you have their back by being able to put some pressure on the quarterback and get after him. And you know, this past game against Tennessee Titans, you didn't see any of that. Okay, so when you can't generate a pass rush with 4 guys, when you can't make the quarterback feel uncomfortable, and he has all the time in the pocket, I don't care if you got 2 Jalen Ramseys, a Deion Sanders, an Earl Thomas, and an Ed Reed back in his prime back there. It doesn't matter. If you give an offense that much time to work, they're going to expose somebody. And that's kind of what you saw a little bit. So, yeah, obviously, right now the secondary, they're young. Obviously, Hayden, I think, has to play better. Wingard, obviously, has got to play better. They're missing Jared Wilson. They're missing Jared Wilson by a lot right now. I understand that. And maybe, who knows, maybe one of their backup guys, maybe Daniel Thomas could be the answer. I think he's more of a strong safety than he is really a free safety.
Well, I feel.
Right? So I think you kind of got what you got right now. But with that being said, you got to build that secondary. You got to help your young guys out in the backfield, and you got to get after the quarterback. Simple as that.
Listen, the other thing about Wingard is the play that's like a prayer. I think it was Josh Allen who was hitting Tannehill on the play. Maybe it was Miles Jack. But they throw it up, and in the end zone, it looks like Wingard should make the play. Why is he so late there? And maybe he should. Yeah. But I think what's being glossed over is DJ Hayden's not playing good football. Mm-hmm. And that's a bigger problem to me than Wingard. Because DJ Hayden has been spectacular here in a Jags uniform, and I was like, okay, at least they have DJ Hayden. Sure. Well, DJ Hayden did not look very good to me. Now, I don't know what it looked like on the tape, but to my eyes against Indianapolis did not look great. Mm-hmm. He got beat on that play right there, too. Now, should you have some help? I don't think that was a handoff either because he got spun around. Yeah. So it's not one of those, like that was one I could tell. I think he was supposed to go with the receiver, Humphreys, and he just got beat on the play. He got turned around, and then the safeties couldn't help him out. Josh Jones and Humphreys right in the middle of Josh Jones and Wingard for the play. That really I just don't think happens in the NFL very often. Like that touchdown should not have happened. The Jaguars actually played very good defense in that sequence. They had stopped Henry behind the line of scrimmage for a 3-yard loss. Smoot, go back and watch a second down play there. Smoot makes a heck of a play. Yeah. He almost sacks Tannehill, realizes he's not going to get to him because Tannehill dumps it off, I think, to Jonnu Smith, who's right next to him, and he gets him for like a 4-yard loss. Recovery, yep. Never gave up on the play. Smoot was really good. And on third down, they get one of the lone pressures of the game. And they hit the quarterbacks that he has to just throw it up for grabs, and their guy catches it. That should not have happened. It was actually a really good defensive sequence. So for the most part, maybe the best defensive sequence of the game for the Jaguars, and they still give up a touchdown on the play.
And this is where my big red flag comes from. And this is something that I've been preaching since the start of training camp. I've said on the show many times before, the most important person on that defensive line, it's not Josh Allen, it's not Chason, it's Gunter, right? And then when Gunter goes out, he opts out because he has the heart condition. I was worried. I'll be honest. I even said, I'm like, listen, I'm not sure what this is going to look like, right? Because everyone's telling us how good Taven Bryan looks in training camp. Everyone's telling us how he's making strides. He's going to be the 3-tech. He's good to go. Okay, maybe Taven Bryan in the run game. And listen, Taven Bryan had a good game against the Colts, all right? Shut down the run, made some great plays. But Taven Bryan in the pass game, I think we've all known what Taven Bryan has always been, right? And he's a guy who's a high-effort guy, but he has problems transitioning from the run to the pass. I should know about it. I had the same exact problem. So it's like I'm talking about myself right now a little bit. But my point is that they cannot generate pressure in the middle. And I've been very adamant about saying this. I don't care if you got Von Miller, Khalil Mack, or a Josh Allen and Chase on. If you can't get any respect in the middle of the field with your 3 technique and your nose technique, it doesn't matter, man, because there's ways to beat defensive ends then. There's ways to beat edge rushers. You can chip them. You can double team them. You can do a million type of things to them in order for them not to get to the quarterback. When you can generate that pass rush, when you can generate the blitzing thing, like we saw, I think when Chase had his sack, like we saw like a NASCAR package, right? And all of a sudden we saw like, all right, pin your ears back, it's time to go. My worry, though, is when it's 1st and 10, when it's 2nd and 6, and is it going to be a pass, is it going to be a run, and you don't know, and all of a sudden you have to convert from like a play action where you play the run, all of a sudden, oh, it's a pass, got to work my pass rush move. I'm not seeing the interior of this defensive line being able to do that. And that's why you saw Tannehill have so much time, against the Jaguars here. Think about that play with Wingard where he got exposed a little bit. Think about Josh Allen hitting him. Now think about if you had any kind of resemblance of a pass rush in the middle of that field coming down on Tannehill, where Tannehill can't step up in the pocket. Well, now all of a sudden you got something there, right? Like those are the differences right now between, being a very porous defense and being an okay defense. So is Tatum Bryant playing good in the run game? I would say so, probably yes. But the question remains, where are they going to generate their interior pressure from? Because they can't do it with 4. That's been established for 2 weeks now. So you got to start blitzing. Well, keep in mind, when you start blitzing with probably the youngest secondary in the NFL, that's going to leave some things open. And that's where communication must be a must. Can they do that right now with this young secondary? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the question I have about that, and I don't discount anything you're saying. I understand what you're saying. The pass rush is not there. They can't get home with 4. That's been a conversation we've had around here for a long time. Even with some of the better players that came through here, they still couldn't get home with 4 on some occasions. I will say this. I guess if this saw the Jags might spin it, internally to say, hey, we're okay still and not panic. And that is they played 2 very good offensive lines. They did do that. I mean, those are 2 of the premier offensive lines probably in the National Football League. But that still that's not satisfying to us outside the building. How are you going to find it? So how do you fix it, man? If Taven Bryan can't get a push, you don't have Rodney Gunter, you don't have Calais Campbell, you don't have Marcel Darius. If they can't get a push on the inside, is it strictly you just have to create it and run the risk of blitzing and leaving stuff open in the back end? Or is there another fix?
Listen, you had the luxury of being able to rush 4 because you played against 2 run-first teams, right? So you played against the Colts, you played against the Titans. Well, now you have the Dolphins coming to town. Then you go to Cincinnati. Then you go to Houston. And then you go to the play in the Lions at home, right?
Yeah. By the way, every one of those teams 0-2 right now.
Interesting. I didn't know that, yeah.
The next 4 opponents are 0-8.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Which means nothing in the NFL, but
doesn't really mean that much.
It's still kind of fun to say.
So with that being said, though, those 4 teams that I just named, I would call them pass-first teams over run-first teams, okay? So you don't have the luxury anymore of bringing a safety down and trying to stack the box and say, all right, beat us with a run. You know why? Because now these teams can sit back. Now you have to go against, Fitzmagic. Now you have to go against a pretty dynamic passing offense with the Dolphins. Now you have to go against Burrow and Deshaun Watson, all these guys. So you have to generate pressure. You just can't let them sit back there and pick you apart. Like I just said, you don't have, in my eyes right now, what I've seen, you don't have the interior to generate the pressure. So you have to blitz. Like that to me is how you fix it. Unless for something you find a magic pill or something like that. It's like, all right, guys, when it's play action, we have to get off our blockers now and work our pass rush moves. Like unless you can change that around in a week, which is obviously I think what you have is what you have right now on the defensive line. I think you have to generate some more blitzes and things like that. It's one thing to generate it on 3rd and long, right? Because that's a pass situation. The problem is, though, is when you generate it on 2nd and short or 2nd and 5 or 3rd and 5, well, that's a run or a pass. Right, so you kind of have to be cautious about how you approach blitzing. But in my eyes, if you want to take care of Josh Allen, you want to take care of Chase on, you got to get pressure in the middle to feed it out to them.
There's something I really feel like I'm realistic in the sense of the defense. Like I wasn't expecting a lot from the defense. They said they were going to stop the run. They told me that, and they've done a pretty good job through 2 games against 2 run-heavy teams. I thought they would look really bad at times against the pass. I really did. There's not a lot to go through on this. They lost too much. They lost Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue, Jalen Ramsey, A.J. Boye. I mean, and they lost Jared Wilson now. I mean, they've lost way too much to anticipate them playing well against that. Now, here's the problem with the Jags. And by the way, it doesn't make it okay. That's real. That's just what it is. That's what their roster is. That's why some of the expectation was low. But I thought they might be a team that bend but don't break. Mm-hmm. And so they're giving a lot of bend, but they're also breaking. Yes. They're not forcing enough field goals. Like, if you're going to do that, and you're going to let the team go up and down the field, which is sometimes the design of this defense, keep everything in front of you, right, and don't give up big plays, well, then you got to keep them out of the end zone. And right now they haven't been able to do that through a couple, well, with the exception, I mean, I guess they did to Colts only scored 20 points, so they made a couple big plays when they had to. So you either have to keep them out of the end zone and force field goals or make a play or two that changes the game. They did that against Indy. They were not able to do that yesterday against the Tennessee Titans. I mean, a lot like Seattle. Look at Seattle, man. Like if you look at Seattle's defense, they have better players, probably overall better defense. Yeah, they've given up like 1,000 yards the first 2 weeks. Now they also made the big stop at the end of the game to win the game against Cam Newton last night. We'll talk about that game more, but that gives you an idea. Like, you just got to make the one play. Okay, You're not going to ride your defense, but you got to make the one play. Now the other side of it is this: as watching the Jags in the first couple weeks, I would almost rather you blitz and make that guy uncomfortable and give up an 80-yarder. Then methodically just go down there and 12 yards here, 15 yards here, 18 yards here, 6 yards here, and boom, 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 and 7 minutes. You know why? Because I want to go back and watch my offense play. So go ahead and take a chance and try to create something. If you give up the big plays, so what? You stink on defense maybe right now anyway, until you come together and figure some more stuff out. Yeah. So I'd almost rather you force the issue. This is going to sound bad, but I kind of say this in the middle of I said this, I think I was watching with Ty at the time. I watched first half at home, which is, by the way, weird that we weren't in Nashville, but that's a different story. I said, and I don't mean this in like a reckless way, but even if you blitz and hit Tannehill and pick up a roughing the passer, you have to make yourself known. Mm-hmm. Like, Tannehill didn't even know he was playing against the Jags. He never even, you talk about social distancing. I mean, he didn't even get close to him. So you have to, even if it's a penalty, in my opinion, when they're just sitting back there, and again, I'm not saying you have to be reckless and dirty. I'm just saying, even if you're a step late in making sure you're hitting, I'd almost give up the 15-yarder to say, hey, we're here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, and they just never said we're here. They hit them maybe twice. They got the one sack when they brought the pressure, but that's it. I just like to say, I would like them to force the issue a little bit on defense. Don't wait for them to beat you and beat you and beat you and beat you. Right now, you've proven in the first 2 weeks, you're not going to stop much.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see how the Jaguars come out Thursday night with this defensive line now, right? Because the first 2 weeks, the goal is evident. You stop the run, okay? And for the most part, they did a great job of doing that, right? Now we have a Miami team who they can still run the balls, but I think they're going to come out and pass with Fitzmagic and things like that. It begs the question, and this is something that I brought up, last year a little bit with Josh Allen, and that's the point of how many reps is Chase on getting a game. I think he only had like 10, if that even, right? He wasn't on the field that much, and this is a guy who had his first sack of his career, right? And usually the way it works is when you have when you make a big play like that and you're really vibing, the coach keeps you out there. Now, obviously, he's not going to replace Josh Allen because Josh Allen is playing at a pretty good level as well. But my point is that do we have to start taking a look at this defensive line now, especially with passing teams coming in, and do we have to try to get these guys on the field at the same time even more, right? Because last year, what did we talk about? Josh Allen's not playing enough, man. Like, Josh Allen had 10.5 sacks, and I don't know what the percentage of reps that he had, but it could have been that high. Like, I'm sure Josh Allen set some kind of record for most sacks in terms of how many plays he played that season. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to see this happen with Chason as well. I think you have something special with Chason. I think you showed it yesterday a little bit. Yes, it was. But guess what? He still had to beat his guard of one-on-one. And guess what? He absolutely mollywopped his guard one-on-one. He showed off the get-off. He showed off a great swipe. And most importantly, the finish. So Chason, did pretty well for himself yesterday. My question is, you spend that first-round pick on him. Obviously, you speak very highly of him in training camp. It appears that he's ready to take the next stride. why not get him in the game more? And it comes down to the base philosophy of what this defense runs, and that's the big end and the small end. Right now, the way they look on paper, there's no room for Chase on. He's going to come in on third downs. He'll come in on pass rushing situations, on nickel and stuff like that, and that's it. My question is, do you have to start tailoring this defense to your playmakers, and that playmaker being Chase?
Am I going to sound defensive if I say against Derrick Henry, though? Don't you have to have your better run stopper?
I mean, no, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying this week coming in for the Dolphins.
But this week going forward.
Yeah,
like
going
these
forward.
forward passing.
Correct.
Yeah, but it made sense to have Gotsis in there.
No.
That bigger body.
Yeah.
Against Derrick Henry.
It didn't make sense, but my question is, and listen, the Jaguars' MOs have always been the same. Yeah, but I mean, they've been pretty hell-bent on having this certain type of defense. My question is, if you start facing these past first teams a little more, is can you find a way to get Chase on the field more?
Hey, James is on the line right now. Wants to talk about a big play. You know, we talk about the defense and what went wrong and other things. The other thing that went wrong for the Jags is they didn't get a break. And again, you're going to not get calls. Sometimes you're going to get calls. Sometimes you create your own breaks. But in close games, breaks matter. And the Jaguars, I thought, got a break or two maybe a week prior in their win. And yesterday, Tennessee got all the breaks. There were a couple of questionable pass interference calls. There was obviously the offsides at the end of the game. I think James wants to talk about that. What's up, man?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
Hey, I'm calling from Charlotte, but, hey, the Dolphins were my first love, but now the Jaguars are my passion. So I'm originally from Jacksonville, so that's why I live here, but I'm a big Jags fan. But, yeah, that's the only reason I have the Sunday ticket is for the Jags, and my son and I were watching the game, and, of course, if there's a flag, we know where it's going. But you kind of stole my thunder a little bit. But my biggest question is not just the interference, but how in the world the officials and the sideline referee not see Jadeveon Clowney clearly across the line? I mean, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even a fingertip or a helmet tip. It was a whole hand and wrist and possibly helmet. How in the world does that not happen? And why does Doug Marrone not tape a screenshot to his chest in his press conference and say, why isn't this called? Why doesn't he do that? So I guess I'm ranting and I'm asking the question at the same time, and I'll let it go off the air. I appreciate it, guys.
James, appreciate you listening from Charlotte. Put him on the roll call, right? We got North Carolina on the board. For a guy that probably lined up offsides quite a bit and tried to get away with it.
Yeah.
What's the rule down there? What is the story down there? It from
happens all the
TV,
time.
right? From
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
And again, listen, TV is not. This is one thing you got to be a little careful of. And now in this instance, Clowney was clearly offsides.
Correct.
But a lot of times it looks like a guy's offsides, and he might not be because the angle is just a little bit different. It's not right over the line of scrimmage. But this instance, he was offsides. I would say almost every play somebody is probably technically offsides, but this was pretty egregious, man.
Listen, this is nothing new right now. Like, if you went back to the playoff game and watched when they played the Eagles and the Seahawks, this is what Clowney does. Now, a lot of guys do this because you do it once, you get closer to the ball, and keep in mind, that blue line that you saw him over, that's not the official line, right? So sometimes it can be deceiving depending the camera angle and all this stuff. Now, if he was offside on the Jaguar sideline, you better believe Doug Marrone, somebody was going to be shouting, he's offside, get him off the ball, maybe get the ref's attention, and maybe get a penalty, right? But that wasn't the case. This happened from the Titans sideline. But my point is this happens all the time. Clowney does this all the time. A lot of guys do this all the time. Now, he was doing it to the nth degree, it was obvious on TV. The problem is, though, is that refs don't necessarily always look for this call. Right? This is where it falls on the sideline or, the offensive tackle to say, hey, man, this guy is lined up over the ball. You got to watch him. So then the next time, then they can throw the flag like that. But refs don't generally, the line judges, they have a hard time seeing this. And I almost want to say they're kind of gun-shy to even throw that flag, right? Because what are you going to say? Line up in the neutral zone or like that, encroachment? It's a call that you don't necessarily see all the time. But this has been Clowney's MO forever, man. This isn't the first time he's done this. It's just fact that if you're Doug Marrone and you know this, or if you're a tackle, you know this, you have to reiterate the ref and say, man, hey, watch this guy, and just drive that point home.
Yeah, and what you're saying is you might not actually get the answer you're looking for, the call that you're getting to until the next play, until he does it again. Yeah. And so how many times did he do it previously? Was it brought up to their attention? Some people right now are like, well, why are they out there then? Yeah. I get it, but I just think it happens a lot. at least it looks like it happens a lot on TV. And, I mean, you played the position, like I said. I mean, did you try to get a little extra almost every time?
Of course, yeah. I mean, a lot of guys.
Because
like,
the receivers are like, hey, am I in an okay spot?
Yeah.
Defensive guys don't ask.
No, not even close. No,
Well, obviously
I mean,
they're far away from the ref, too. But
correct. And usually, and here's how it works, too. Usually, if you're over the ball at least once, the ref actually warns you. Check this out. So, like, I've had it happen to me a couple times. Like, I was kind of creeping up, because people don't understand. Like, in terms of your pass rush, you want to get as close to the ball as possible, right? Because it's literally a game of inches. It's the most cliche thing in football, but it's the most true thing in football as well. So, usually, like, if, like, for instance, Clowney right there, it was that obvious, right? He was offsides. I bet the ref came up to him and said, hey, man, scoot back a little bit. Like, refs don't like making this call for whatever reason. And usually you get at least one warning and saying, guys, scoot back a little bit before they actually pull the trigger and throw that flag.
Two other calls. I mean, the Miles Jack looked ticky-tack. I actually thought the worst one was Josh Jones. I didn't think that was interference. That was a bailout, in my opinion. I thought it was almost an uncatchable ball, and that was their best drive of the game. Tennessee really, that was the time they actually used Henry, and they went down and scored after that. It was a third down, would have been off the field. Again, those are a couple of key breaks. If you get the call, you might win the game. If you get one of them, if you get two of them. In this instance, it looked like Tennessee got the benefit of the doubt 3 different times in a 3-point game. That's going to help you win the game. The other one, I will say this about the refs. This is what I don't understand.
Yeah.
And maybe you can clarify. You've been down in the trenches.
Yeah.
You know the one that they throw the holding, it looks like holding on the side on Derek's run. Henry runs and C.J. Henderson brings him down in the open field on near side of the field.
I got you.
He's running left to right. And they throw the flag, and I knew it. I had the tweet ready. They started to huddle, and I was like, they're going to call it off. They're going to say no foul on the play.
Yeah.
Well, then how the hell did you throw the flag if there's no foul on the play?
Yeah.
The only time you should ever throw a flag and pick it up, in my opinion, is if a ball is tipped on pass interference, you didn't see it, so your buddy, the other ref, calls it and says, hey, no, that was tipped. That's the only time. What are you looking at? What did you see if you picked up the flag?
Listen, I'm glad that we're having these conversations because it means that we played in a close game, right? It means that the Jaguars were playing in a close game and every single call matters. I get that. But I'm going to be the last person to come on the radio and then badmouth the refs because guess what? It happens every single game.
Come on,
right?
you should do it.
No, I'm not going to do it because I'll tell you a story real quick. So my second year with the Jaguars, I play in Green Bay, right? It was a dream come true. I'm playing in the historic Lambeau Field. Like, this was probably the coolest game I ever played in. Had a bunch of family and friends there. First quarter, a quarterback rollout. Brian Bulaga holds the absolute crap out of me, okay? Aaron Rodgers gets a touchdown out of it. If I would have been held, I probably would have had a sack. Could have been maybe a strip sack, right? Now all of a sudden I'm dancing. I probably went to go in the stands with my friends. I would have pounded a beer if I would have sacked Aaron Rodgers. I would have been that excited. But needless to say, I get held. It was blatantly obvious. Nothing comes of it. Rodgers throws a touchdown. It is what it is, right? We lose a pretty close game to the Green Bay Packers. After that game, I'm sitting in the locker room, and actually someone from the Green Bay Press-Gazette from like their news people come up to me. And they're like, hey, what was it like playing in Lambeau Field? I'm like, obviously I lost, so I was kind of bummed, but it was a cool experience, thing like that. He's like, I saw you got held by Brian Bulaga on one play. I'm like, yeah. He's like, whoa, what do you think about that? I'm like, I think it was a bad call. And there's just silence. And I'm just like, now what? Because like, what do you want me to say? I think it was a bad call. I don't think the ref did his job there, but what can I do? There's nothing to be said about it. Yeah, so like the ref didn't do his job, obviously, with Clowney being offsides. Yes, the pass interference on Miles Jack was probably questionable, but at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. Like I can sit here and try to break it down and say how much these refs suck, but it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, listen, I'm not painting the picture that the refs lost the game for the Jags. Yeah. What I'm painting the picture of, sometimes you need breaks in the game.
Sure.
And if you get them, well, in a close game, you might win. If you don't, well, because we know they're going to be happening. I mean, Tennessee, they might be up there in Nashville and be like, hey, man, there were like 3 other plays that and maybe we're seeing it with our goggles on.
Yeah.
Although I don't remember many. I mean, those were pretty distinct and important plays in the game.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the one I was just complaining about with the flag and holding is I didn't even think it mattered in the game.
Yeah.
It just bugs the heck out of me. What are you seeing then?
Yeah.
You're anticipating that you're seeing something, but you really didn't see it.
Yeah.
Like, if you saw it, why pick up the flag? It doesn't make sense to me, especially in a holding or something else. Again, the only time that I'm okay with it is if you pick it up because a ball was tipped on interference and you just didn't know that it was tipped.
Yeah.
Well, then you couldn't see all that. I get it. That makes sense. But this picking up after you threw one, I mean, they threw it right at the guy.
I say we need to hire the services of like a former NFL referee here and kind of go to New York like they do in the games.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of land them a little bit for a segment.
And by the way, the reason why we talk about refs is because look at me. I'm a mess.
I see
we
that,
love
man.
talking about refs.
I can see that.
Like, everybody loves complaining about the refs.
I hear you, man. It's just...
I don't think the Jags lost the game because of the refs.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not sitting there and saying that.
Yeah.
But I am telling you, I love complaining about the refs.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Hey, when we come back, you want to play a little Visca Bingo?
Let's play some Visca Bingo.
How did he do on the cards?
Trademark.
And coming up at 5 o'clock, Josh Allen, Jaguars defensive end, will join us right here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We'll get to the bottom of this defense. It's all on the way here on a Monday. Even though the Jags are 1-1, short week. Dolphins coming up. That one on Thursday night on Fox 30.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly to mostly cloudy, relatively cool and breezy today. A little drizzle or isolated shower, a high only near 75. Mostly cloudy, an isolated shower tonight in the mid-60s. And partly to mostly cloudy tomorrow. Still a little bit breezy and still the chance for a brief isolated shower and in the upper 70s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Save thousands right now with Beards' unbeatable deals.
CGC Water is on a mission. If you are not filtering your water, you are the filter. The mission is to provide all who can hear this message with clean, purified drinking water, period. Up to 60% of the human body is made up of water, making the CGC Water mission vitally important to living a healthy life. CGC offers no contact sales and service appointments and takes all necessary precautions while in your home. Kinetico systems from CGC Water remove up to 99% of the contaminants. And this month, get 50% off a K5 reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Get peace of mind knowing your family is drinking great tasting, purified water. That's what we do at my home. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Join the mission and allow CGC Water to purify your drinking water. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Servicing Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Everybody's taking advantage of Diamonds Direct's 5-year zero-interest financing offer. In fact, our store hours have been extended to include this Sunday to accommodate the demand. But hurry, this offer ends September 30th. Pick any item, get the Diamonds Direct amazing value price, make no down payment, and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. Whether your purchase is $3,000 or $30,000, you can do this. 5 years, zero interest on approved credit. And remember, we'll be open this Sunday afternoon for your convenience. Get details and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Join ESPN 690 in Shopping the 904. When you help businesses here on the First Coast, you're really helping all of us. And it keeps our local economy going. That means jobs. 2020 has been a really tough year, especially for locally owned businesses. And you can make a difference when you shop local. So if you live in St. John's, Duval, Baker, Clay, Nassau, or other surrounding counties, shop local. Shop the 904.
Shop the 904.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn more at seizetheawkward.org.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day?
That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026. Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
Okay, boss, here's the house. Been watching it all week.
And you're sure it only has a big blue alarm system?
Yep. That means we should have all the time we need.
Yeah, Still can't believe Big Blue Alarm is allowing their employees to monitor alarm systems while they're working from home.
Yeah, let's see, how many times do I get distracted when I'm at my house?
Right? Let's just hope the Big Blue operator monitoring this house just started binge-watching a TV show.
Meanwhile, right across the street, Safe Touch is still as steady as can be with the fastest guaranteed response time anywhere.
And that is why we're standing on the outside of the house with the Big Blue Alarm.
Just following the Crooks R Us motto, stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah. All right, let's get busy.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Internal Revenue Service. When you owe a personal or business tax debt and can't pay, just hearing those 3 words brings feelings of fear and anxiety. I'm Jonathan David Soriash, Managing Tax Attorney at J. David Tax Law. Everyone knows that if you owe the IRS and don't pay, it's only a matter of time before tax liens, wage garnishments, or bank levies happen to you. The first step to resolution is our no-cost consultation. We take the time to go through your specific tax problem step by step. We explain exactly what your options are and how we will resolve your tax issue. J. David Tax Law is a local firm right here in Jacksonville, where only an experienced tax attorney will represent you. Our fee payment plans are affordable for everyone. If you have tax problems, call us now for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777, or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. That's jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliances breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first 2, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Back to school also means back to Friday night football. Get to the game in style in a new Honda from Honda of the Avenues. Their incredible summer clearance event is going on now to make room for the new 2021 models. Find great deals and haul the whole team in a new Odyssey, Pilot, or CRV. Plus, Hondas are safe and reliable, just what you and your team need. Don't miss kickoff. Stop by the Honda Giant on Phillips Highway just a few yards south of the Avenues to see all their inventory, or start looking right now at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
The football season is here, and you can track the latest news, odds, and information at betonline.net. And while stadiums won't be full, game action will be loaded. Which players will step up to lead their team? Is there still a home field advantage? Will offense or defense dominate these early weeks of the season? Follow along at betonline.net as the top teams in football begin their journey to Tampa. Available online or your mobile device. Check out the site today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
Do you know a child who is deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine offers a tuition-free educational program to prepare the child for a lifetime of success. FSDB offers free comprehensive education, transportation, and boarding services at no cost to all eligible deaf or blind students, elementary through high school, no matter where the student lives in Florida. Call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdbk12.org to learn more.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Jaguars gave the Titans all they could handle, but in the end, the Music City took home the W with a late field goal, bringing the final of 33-30. Here's head coach Doug Marrone reacting to the tough loss.
Credit to Tennessee. They were able to make some plays, and at the end of the day, we weren't able to make a play to get us over the top or stop a play. So that's where we are.
Despite losing, the offense came to win. Minshew went for 339 yards and 3 touchdowns, while rookie running back James Robinson continued to impress with 102 yards, a TD, and average of over 6 yards per carry. Notable also was rookie K'Lavon Chaisson getting his first career sack. And across the NFL yesterday, the story was injuries. Top names going down include Saquon Barkley and Nick Bosa, both with ACLs, and many more across the league. If you're working from home and want to listen to ESPN, tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 690.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Austin Lane.
Are we on right now or not? Like our screen? I guess we're good.
Brent Martineau.
Yeah, you got to go all the way. Yeah, we're back. Thanks for your concern.
You're welcome.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
For us personally, I feel like every game you go in, you always want to try to make a team one-dimensional. So, we know we want to stop the run with Derrick Henry, but we want to stop the run with every team to get on the pass. As far as the pressure on Tannehill, I think we just got to do better getting off the play action blocks and things like that. I think this game was probably a little locked in a little bit too in the run, kind of buried our eyes and kind of worked out late to work against the pass. And I think that's just how it is with every game. I think moving forward, we're going to just try to focus on that more, because I really think that was a real big part of the game. I think our DBs will do a good job, but we just can't leave them out there covering for about 6 to 10 seconds. So we got to do a better job of getting off those blocks.
That is Avery Jones, Jags defensive lineman. They got to do better on defense. I mean, there's nothing to hide there. I mean, that's what it is, and they know that. They watch the film. We know that. They've got to be a little bit better. I don't think they're going to be great on defense. I think that's a little too much to ask and unrealistic, quite frankly. But they do have to be better and give their offense a chance to win. It's funny. What a plot twist here in Jacksonville. For the last 5-10 years we've been saying, going to those defensive players in the locker room, man, is the offense not doing enough? Is the offense not doing enough? Is the offense not doing enough? Well, here we are.
A little role
if
reversal.
we're in that locker room, be like, hey, man, don't you got to help out your offense? Don't you got to help out your offense? I mean, and you know what?
It's a better problem to have. It's more entertaining.
I think it's a better problem to have, although I don't know if it was Ty or someone that we were in the sports office, we were talking, we're like, I don't know which one by the end of the year, which is it more depressing that you can't get a first down or more depressing that you can't stop anybody?
Well, listen,
if this continues.
I'm a little biased, right? So what I'm going to say here, but I will say this. From an entertainment factor, from coming in here on a Monday with stuff to talk about, I think the offense firing all cylinders and the defense being porous is the way to go, at least from our perspective.
Yeah, I think from the fans too, and especially it just gives you something different. I mean, it is something different, no doubt. Hey, I want to remind everybody, last week we launched our first ever Athlete of the Week, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, brought to you by Honda The Avenues. And it's back up for week number 2. We have 3 new nominations. Walter Simmons, the third quarterback from Oak Leaf High School. Reinhardt Harrison, cross-country runner from Nice. And Bryce Tompkins from Baldwin High School. Plays quarterback, and he has the Indians off to a 2-0 start this young season. Impressive win over West Nassau after a triple overtime win in week number 1. Here's the deal. Go to ESPN690.com. You can vote for our Athlete of the Week. Voting will close on Friday, and then we'll announce the winner of the voting on Friday night's Blitz Scoreboard Show at 9 o'clock as we cover all things high school right here on ESPN 690. 9 o'clock on Fridays. We're 2 weeks in. Telling you, this show's going to be fun if you like high school football. We're still working out some things, but be patient. It's going to be good. It's going to get even better this Friday night, and that's 9 o'clock right here on ESPN 690, plus the video platforms, which is a big part of that show, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. It's also a big part of this show. We appreciate you watching and listening to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos on a Monday where the Jags lose, but the feeling isn't depressing. Let's just be honest. I mean, it feels like there's some things to like about this football team. Mm-hmm. And one of the things to like about this football team is Laviska Shenault. And the other thing to like is how Jay Gruden is using him. Jay Gruden has a weapon, and maybe coming off the draft for 4 months, we talked about, I can't wait to see how they use him. Mm-hmm. And boy, you got to give a tip of the cap to Jay Gruden. He has used him brilliantly and almost we want more, right? Because Laviska is a really fun watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, listen, we talked about how we expect him to be kind of like Deebo Samuel was last year. Well, I think he's Deebo and then some, right? Like this guy's in the backfield, Brent, getting handoffs. This guy's running jet sweeps. This guy is everywhere. And then you know what? It appears that he's up to the challenge in everything. I love what I saw from him. Obviously, I'm with you. I want more. Just how dynamic can this guy be? I'll tell you what, though. If you're Miami right now, that's an extra 15 minutes off the get-go of just watching film of him, right? If you're defensive coordinator, it's like, all right, well, we got to watch out for this. We got to watch out for this. So I love it from the game planning perspective of Jay Gruden, and I love it that this fact that this offense right now is super dynamic, something we haven't seen in a long time.
All right, well, this is an Austin idea that we've stolen. Like, might even use it on TV tonight, but we use it here.
It's cool.
And yesterday, we pushed out a Visca bingo card.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of things on here. Kuz, this up on the feed? We okay to talk about this? The Visca Bingo card. If you're on the Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, you can see it. If not, we'll explain it to you. But it's bingo. 3x3 bingo.
Yeah.
We don't want too
27
much.
was a lot to offer.
That was a lot, right?
Yeah.
You got 16 or 20 spots. That's a little much.
Yeah.
You got the free space with the smiling LaVisca right in the middle.
Why not, man?
And then there are 8 categories. Pancake block, catches a screen pass, lines up in the Wildcat, scores a touchdown, rushes for over 5 yards, has a reception, lines up at halfback, and appears in a touchdown celebration.
Yeah.
What did we have yesterday?
Yeah.
Didn't see a pancake block.
Didn't see the pancake block.
But that's one like you almost have to go. I don't know if the naked eye is going to see that.
No.
You know, in the first play of last week's game, he had a great block. I don't know if it was a pancake block, but it was a really good block.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it until we broke it down on Jaguars All Access.
Correct.
You know, so the blocking's
And
interesting.
Russ talked about it, too, when we did the Wall That Says It All. The very first play that we broke down was him blocking.
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, the
That's
first
the
play
one,
of the game.
yep.
Yeah, so listen, in terms of the pancake block, listen, it's going to be there a couple times. Trust me. This guy's way too big, is too strong not to pancake little small defensive backs. So by the pancake block, if there's going to be a long run, I guarantee you it's going to be because Chenault put some guy on his back. It'll come. Don't worry about it. I had to make it a little hard, or else what are we doing? We're just playing blackout? Everything's going to be crossed off the way this guy's playing.
Well, I know. It looked like it at first. And then you go back and deeper dive, and the screen pass, didn't see a screen.
Didn't see a screen.
Lines up in the Wildcat.
Yeah.
Did. Touchdown, not this time.
Not this time.
Last week.
Yeah.
Rushes for 5 yards. Did. Reception. Did. Lines up at halfback. Got it.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I thought that was going to be like just the kind of the oddball one and everything. Oh, for sure.
He's
Play
their
halfback,
number
man.
2 running back.
By all means, play halfback. You got it. I know.
He's serious. Well, Chris
you said
Thompson's their third-round back.
Yeah.
But the guy that they're giving the ball to second.
Yeah.
I mean, Thompson's in there to block and be on third downs, and he got a tote yesterday.
Yeah.
But he's going to catch it, and he caught a touchdown. I mean, they're keeping everybody happy right now.
Exactly. And
but LaVisca, all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, that's James. No, it's not. It's number 10.
Dude, I thought it was Chris Ivory. I'm like, wait, when do we sign Chris Ivory all of a sudden? All of a sudden, Chris Ivory off the block a little bit. No, listen, he ran that ball. I'm like, who's got the dreads in the back? Oh, okay, there you go, Chenault.
It just, you don't put it in your mind, right?
Together. Did not look like a running back running that ball.
Okay, so here's the key.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
We've already got bingo diagonally.
Sure.
From bottom left to upper right. But we can get bingo 3 different ways if this one comes in.
Yeah.
And that's a touchdown celebration. Was he involved?
I didn't see him. Now, maybe I stand corrected.
I think you're wrong.
Really?
Because remember the one, who was it? I want to say it's their third touchdown. I don't know.
Was it Thompson?
Touchdown. I don't know, but they went so tight on the camera angle when they were underneath the goalpost taking a picture.
Yeah.
But I think LaVisca was involved in that.
See, I couldn't tell that was the problem. I have to go back and watch it.
I think LaVisca was involved in the touchdown celebration.
Okay. So to be determined.
To be determined, but I think that's a check mark, and if or an X, and if that's an X, Visca wins us bingo in 3 different ways.
We're literally playing blackout with Chenault. Let's go ahead and put 27 squares on there. You might as well. I mean, what are we doing here? It's week 2. Calm down, Chenault.
What are we missing? Should we be adding some other things? How about smiling after running over somebody? Did you see, like, his first touch? And there was a huge collision.
Yeah.
And he's on the sideline. He has this big smile on his face. I was like, man, this is great.
Or we can do how much the announcers brag about him and how strong he is. We can add that to the bingo list, maybe. Like, I just thought, listen, let's slow play this a little bit. Let's get some hard things out there. Let's put him in the backfield kind of square. Well, no, that got figured out. So, I don't know. Do we have to up it up a little bit? Do we have to add more squares? What are you thinking, Brent?
I don't know. I think we can do this for a little bit. Once he crosses off everything.
Blackout bingo?
If he has, like, a perfect square.
Yeah.
Well, then we got to add to it.
Okay.
We got to figure something else out. But, I mean, that would be something. He did have 2, 4, 5 of the 8.
Yeah.
And last week he had a touchdown. I think last week he had a screen. And I don't know if we count it as a pancake block, but it was close last week. So he's already in 2 weeks checked off every box, I believe.
It's insane.
And he's fun. He's the right way. Has 72 total yards, but it felt like his impact in the game. You know, I'll tell you the other impact. What was it? It was Keelan Cole touchdown.
Yep.
Minshew, Chenault goes in motion, goes going to the other sideline, like the bench. Not even the sideline, like back toward the 50.
Yep.
And then Minshew does this twirl around thing, starts running to his right. Looks like he's going to run and has wide open Cole. I don't know what was designed there. There was a lot going on. It also looked like there was a lot busted. Quite frankly.
I was a little confused. I'm like, oh, something big's about to happen. I know it's like a flea flick. I don't know what was going to happen, but I think it's something like crazy with Chenault wasn't happen there. Yeah. But listen, once again, it's fun.
He makes it fun.
We don't see these type of things. Not every NFL does this, Brent.
I'm telling you, you watch the game, right? And C.J. Henderson didn't flash as much this time around. Chason got a sack. But every game, there seems to be something with these young players. Robinson, 100 yards. And Chenault looks like, man, that was worth the second-round pick.
Yeah.
He really makes the offense kind of fun and different. And I'm excited every week now to watch what they do with him. Plus, he's just so physically violent, at attack, and he loves that. I mean, he falls forward 4 yards. And then I think he showed that I'm going to go snatch one out of the air. And he grabbed that first early pass where there was poor spacing, it looked like. Yep. He went up and that pass looked like, I was like, okay, where's this going? And Chenault jumped out of the building to go get it.
I'm going to play the touchdown right now, actually. So you think it was the Chris Thompson touchdown with the celebration?
I don't know, but the camera, remember on C went really tight, so you couldn't see what they were doing.
Yep. I'll check it out, though. Because it was funny, too, the Minshew seemed like he was running away from it, right? Because Minshew throws the ball, obviously. Big touchdown. And then he was going to get in, and he kind of ran away to the sidelines a little bit.
Not doing the celebration stuff.
Staying humble. I want that.
Hey, one other thing before we hit the top of the hour. Josh Allen coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Jaguars defensive end. Florida State Coaches Show is tonight. Of course, ESPN 690, your official Florida State station here in Jacksonville, football and basketball. How about Mike Norvell? Will not coach in this game. And right now, I think FSU, it's like if it can, it will go wrong for FSU. It's just, you hope everything's okay. His daughter, I think, and wife tested negative. But he's going to miss the Miami game. And now what for FSU? Because Miami looked really good against Louisville on Saturday night. I would think Noles fans are a little bit like, oh, boy. I'm going to close my eyes and tell me if I can open them and watch on Saturday against Miami.
Listen, you come out week 1 against Georgia Tech, doesn't go away, you lose that, and you've essentially had 2 weeks now, right, to sit on that, to stew on that a little bit because you had the bye this past week. Well, now your head coach isn't going to be there either, so it's just you keep getting put behind the 8 ball. I'm not sure if you watched that Miami-Louisville game, but they look pretty dynamic and explosive.
Yeah, Derek King didn't impress me the first week. Saturday night sure did.
Nice a little bit.
That'll be a big one. Obviously, college football slate really gets going this week with the SEC in play. That's a little FSU at 4. Mike Norvell hands off to the deputy coach, Chris Thompson, and we'll see how it goes for 4. Maybe they rally a little bit around. Sometimes these things galvanize a team too, and you play better than you think. So they've got a lot of work to make up from that week 1 loss to Georgia Tech. One other college note real quick. We'll talk more college as the week goes along. UCF, pretty good. I mean, UCF, talk about a fun watch. I love the Knights. I think they're a lot of fun to watch. When we come back, Jaguars defensive end, the Pro Bowler, and the captain, Josh Allen, joins us on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
High school football is back. Listen Friday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Blitz High School Scoreboard Show. Presented by Honda of the Avenues. Action Jack's Brent Martineau takes you around Northeast Florida for up-to-the-minute scores and highlights from your favorite teams. The Blitz High School Scoreboard Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues. Friday nights at 9 p.m. on ESPN 690.
I've been looking to partner up with a new dealership in town, and Fields Auto Group is a perfect fit for our family. We had such a good experience recently. My wife is leasing a Cadillac XT6. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville was awesome to work with. She loves the car. It's beautiful. Different level customer service with Fields Auto Group. No matter what you're driving, you can step up to luxury for less now at any of the Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yeah, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Do what we did. Go to fieldsauto.com.
Let's say you have ED, male impotence, or maybe you suffer from PE and can't satisfy your partner. If you have either or both of these embarrassing conditions, Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Rabinski, a specialist in men's health.
If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain and no surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center has patients lasting 30, 90 minutes or longer. You'll see results on your first visit, or your visit is free. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call 904-206-8105. We guarantee that you'll see results on your first visit, or there's no charge for your consult. Call Prime Men's Center now at 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You've got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Sometimes you go to a place and you just feel at home. That's the way it is at the golf course at Southampton, and you can make it your home course. Membership program starting at just $79. The brand new practice facility has been a huge hit. It's a fun course, player-friendly course, so get your buddies, your friends, play some golf. Fun at the golf club at Southampton. It's the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18 golf tournament, and it can be your home course as well. For information on memberships, call 904-287-PLAY. That's 904-287-PLAY.
Appliances may work on your schedule, but they quit on theirs. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we'll get your appliances back up and running in no time at all. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have repaired more than 100,000 appliances over the past 35 years, servicing Jacksonville to St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor, plus a 100% satisfaction guarantee. When your appliances quit, we're ready to get started. For quality repair at a price that's fair, visit AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Everybody's taking advantage of Diamonds Direct's 5-year zero-interest financing offer. In fact, our store hours have been extended to include this Sunday to accommodate the demand. But hurry, this offer ends September 30th. Pick any item, get the Diamonds Direct amazing value price, make no down payment, and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. Whether your purchase is $3,000 or $30,000, you can do this. 5 years, zero interest on approved credit. And remember, we'll be open this Sunday afternoon for your convenience. Get details and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing, discount drive-bys, and mile-wise. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Pros today have to do whatever the job calls for, and the Home Depot is here to help make that easier. With a wide range of delivery options, you can get what you need, from job lot quantities to small supply runs, delivered where and when you need it. Don't want to buy the tool? Rent it. We've got the most innovative products and more ways for pros to find them, in-store and online. Pros are changing, so are we. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Hey everyone, this is Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 10 different platforms. But if you missed the show, you missed this.
The Jags have 2 opt-outs. How big are these losses in your opinion?
Lorente McCray is different to me. This is a guy who's going on his 7th season here in the NFL. If you have the honor to wear the C in that locker room, it means that you're a leader. You have some sort of influence on that team.
Subscribe to the podcast and check the show out on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Get the podcast daily. All you have to do is search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in, 49ers running back Tevin Coleman expected to miss multiple weeks with a knee injury. The team is hoping quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo can play this week despite the high ankle sprain. Running back Raheem Mostert won't likely play. The team had no update on the MRI for defensive lineman Nick Bosa's injured knee. Giants have confirmed star running back Saquon Barkley has a torn ACL. He'll be out the rest of the season. The loss of Barkley certainly impacting the development of Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, explains ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
Now teams can just completely play coverage and dare Daniel Jones and the Giants to try to be patient enough with a backup running back and a not good blocking offensive line. And so now your quarterback is kind of going to have to play the rest of the season with one hand tied behind his back.
Dan Orlovsky on Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Former Falcons running back Devontae Freeman will visit the Giants tomorrow. Broncos receiver Cortland Sutton has a torn ACL. His season's over. Denver QB Drew Lock, rotator cuff strain out 3 to 5 weeks. Vikings linebacker Anthony Barr heading to IR with a torn pec. His season's likely over.
Brought to you by Cooper Tires. Go with great tires that do what tires should do and cost what tires should cost. Go with the Coopers.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. 904-600-4000. 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Well, and you know where I stand on this, and I've been very adamant about this. I'm not going to be surprised whether it's in the NFL or college where teams are going to try to, maybe kind of sway the rules a little bit just to get that competitive edge. There's nothing more competitive than a football season, whether it's college or the NFL.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
We don't need to be getting down 13 in the first place. I think if we jump out and play every quarter like we played that fourth, we're going to be a really, really good football team. Anytime we get in those situations, we don't have to hit panic mode. We don't start pointing fingers. We're just going to try to step up, do our job, and, support the team as best we can. And I feel like we did a lot of that on both sides of the ball today, and, it should only get better.
That is Gardner Minshew, and I tell you what, the moxie of Gardner, but also the resilience of this football team, which Doug Marrone promised that this team had, and he's been right. I mean, down 13 early on the road to a team that went to the AFC Championship game last year, and they punched back, and almost stole one on the road. What a win it would have been. Instead, it's 1-1. Jaguars now get the Dolphins here at home Thursday night. I said that kind of funny. The Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
That's not like a Rhode Island accent or anything.
What was that?
That was just
Dolphins.
That was Dolphins. I probably did Dolphins.
Is that more? That's like Boston.
Dolphins.
Dolphins. Okay. Got you.
The Jaguars have 0-2, 0-2, 0-2, and 2 the next 4 weeks.
Really a murderer's row if 0-2 is on.
It's time to pick up some steam, and get ahead. Like you know how they say get ahead of the sticks? I feel like you get ahead of the schedule here a little bit if you can. Like this game's big on Thursday night. Yeah. Stay ahead of the schedule. It would be nice. Be 2-1. You know what? I don't know. Cincinnati's better than 0-2, I think. And they've shown some signs.
Had 2 close games.
They have. And so you could easily go up there and look. Again, this is nothing's easy.
Yeah.
It's not like a coach saying that in the NFL, but listen, we get it. It's a thin margin, and we've done this for too long to say, oh, yeah, that's a guaranteed win. No,
sure.
It doesn't happen.
And obviously Houston right now is playing a pretty tough schedule. Yeah, J.J. Watt almost crying after the game. Like, he's going to come out motivated, so you have to be ready for him as well.
Hey, here's the deal, though. What have we learned in 2 games? And we're going to get into this in a little bit in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you called back.
You know where I'm going with it? It's where I always go, Brent, and I can't wait to break it down. Listen, we had an hour left the show.
I know.
Plenty of time to get here.
Yeah, I know.
So I'll just wait patiently.
Those college cats are pretty good against bad teams. That's what you're saying.
No.
What did we learn about James Robinson? Like, is he the real deal, or is this a flash? See, that's what you wonder. Because it's 2 games. It's such a small sample.
Yeah.
But my goodness, man, does he look like the real deal? I mean, he goes over 100 yards. He got better as the game went along, had a couple of big-time runs, but even his short runs are good. It's like they're good enough. And then he breaks them. I mean, that's the nature of it. And he's not getting fed a ton. I think he had 16 carries, maybe 17 carries, and that was it. I really like this guy. It looks like he's a good find. Somebody said, I asked the same question. Somebody today said, he's a real deal.
Brent, bigger man crush, James Robinson or Jay Gruden?
Gruden right now.
Really?
Yeah.
See, you know about the flash. Come on, man. Go for the personality. Go for something that means something. Go for the substance. You know about see the shiny new toys, things like that.
Well,
whatever.
Gruden's doing something where he's getting everybody involved.
Yeah.
And again, I mean.
And here you have James Robinson. Just Mr. Dependable.
He is.
Yeah.
So far.
All right.
But is he the real deal? Is he going to be, he's got 165 yards or something the first 2 weeks, which, by the way, is more than Leonard Fournette had in his first 2 games. Fred Taylor had in his first 2 games. Maurice Jones-Drew had in his first 2 games.
I like that.
But are we going to look up at the end of this year and he's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher for the Jags?
Man, at this rate, how could you not think that, right? And listen, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. I did my due diligence, my research, and everything that I heard is this guy's hard to bring down. He's got great vision. What I didn't anticipate was the game-breaking speed, right? Off that 17-yard touchdown. I mean, he showed some speed there. Now, I know he ran, a 4.68 at the combine?
4.64, I think it was.
That's the fastest 4.64 I ever saw. Right, because nobody was even close to getting
But I think
him.
the 4.64 showed up in that other long run. It was like a 35, 40-yard run, and he wasn't able to pull away.
I'm talking about the one that the
I know
long
what you're
run.
saying,
Yeah. I mean, he looked good, and I guess
he's got a good burst.
If you have vision and you got that burst, you're good to go. It begs the question of why this guy wasn't drafted in the first place, right? Maybe you want to say, well, maybe it was because of the 40, but I can point to who's the guy from FAU was it or FIU? I went to Buffalo, Singletary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't he have really bad 40 time? And they drafted him pretty high.
I think you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
There have been guys with not great speed times, but still look fast on tape and play fast.
So at the end of the day, I think the Jaguars might have a gem here with James Robinson. Why he was undrafted, I have no idea. I'm not even going to question it. Did Dave Caldwell outsmart the entire, NFL? I'm not sure about that because I'm from the philosophy where if he was really that good, somebody probably would have drafted him. So he obviously wasn't on people's radars. But I just appreciate him, man, because he's putting on for the FCS schools, right? He's putting on for the smaller schools, obviously. And so far, he's showing, a la Austin Eckler, that doesn't matter where you come from. It matters where you're going. And James Robinson, my friend, right now, is going places.
Yeah, it looks like it. Laviska Shenault getting some carries as well. Chris Thompson. I mean, everybody's doing something in that backfield. And so they're not running it 30 times. I don't think that's what this team is going to be. Mm-hmm. But they're doing a nice job of complementing a passing game that's either throwing it deep on occasion, getting it out of the hands quick, hitting a lot of different receivers. You don't know who to defend right now. And that, I try to be not over dramatic on that front. I mean, most teams would still rather have Julio Jones or a Michael Thomas guy. But when you don't know who to defend and you can distribute, I mean, everybody's getting involved. I mean, Keelan Cole leads the team so far in receptions. Chris Conley had 4 more catches, a beautiful catch on one of the plays. Yeah. I mean, they're all making an impact. That's hard to do. There's only so many snaps, but that was a difference, right? I think they had over 70 snaps in this game. Remember last game they only had 47? You can get more people involved.
How crazy is it right now, Brent, that we're sitting here week 2 and we're bragging about this Jaguars offense. It's making offense fun again. We love it, absolutely. I get that. But how crazy is it right now that we're sitting here on a Monday and we're not bringing up D.D. Westbrook? He is the big afterthought of this Jaguars roster right now.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but at the same time, I'm like, I think I wrote in our rundown today, I don't miss D.D. Westbrook. I'm not like, where's D.D.? They need another weapon, in that sense. It's not personal to him. It's just, I just think they have so many guys catching the football and involved that it's like, okay, well, you're not like, where's that guy, right? Oh, if they only had that guy. You're really not. I mean, I think Tyler Eifert has really played well the first couple weeks. Really do. And O'Shaughnessy's getting involved too.
And we haven't even really seen Chris Thompson. I mean, in the receiving game as well. We saw a little bit. Yeah, but a little bit. But nothing major.
So there's a lot to like about their offense. And I'll say this. Guys get banged up. We know. Look what just happened in the NFL yesterday. So for D.D. Westbrook to potentially come in, and if a guy does get banged up, boy, that's a nice replacement.
Yeah.
Because I think there's confidence in D.D. Westbrook. I think right now just these other guys outplayed him in August, and right now are playing really good football.
Yeah.
I mean, is anybody on offense not playing good football?
No one's coming to mind right now. Nothing I can think of.
I mean, let's, again, knock on wood here,
Yeah.
but I can't tell you about drops. Like Bruce Arians in Tampa, they said he dropped 7 passes yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
They said Brady should have had 400-something yards. Guys are hitting holes. They're running. They're picking up yards. They converted, 10 out of 13 or something, or 14 on third downs. They converted a fourth down play as well. I mean, there's really nothing to complain about on offense except for 2 turnovers that happened in a bad sack by Minshew. That's what you got.
Sure.
I don't even see, again, knock on wood, holding penalties by the offensive line, false start penalties. I mean, they're going to have some of those things, but they've played pretty darn good on offense. I'm talking about crisp on offense. They've played pretty crisp these 2 games.
And you said it too, right? What was a big problem last year for this team on offense? It was the penalties, right? It was the holding. It was the legal hands to the face. It was the absolute drive killers. Now, you had one of those against Indianapolis. I think it was Brandon Linder, right? It was like legal hands to the face or whatever like that. Put him back 15 yards. But besides that, I'm not seeing false starts, right? I'm not seeing holds. And now maybe it's a little easier because obviously there's no crowd, so the false starts probably shouldn't happen. The communication should be at an all-time high. But regardless of that, it appears that Doug Marrone has cleaned up those penalties. And guess what? When you clean them up, you got a better shot to win. And we saw that, obviously, this past Sunday against the Titans.
Here's the next part of this, okay? Do we know here on September 21st, 2 games into the 2020 season, and after 14 starts in the NFL, that Gardner Minshew is the guy in Jacksonville?
It's a great question. And when you say he's the guy in Jacksonville, you're talking about for the extended period of time, for the next 5, 10
I know
years.
he's the guy this year.
Yeah, obviously.
So I know he's the guy this year, and he's shown that.
Yep.
But as he already showcased, he can be the guy.
I think so. You know, now, listen, I don't want to do the whole Tom Brady, Bill Belichick thing. Well, is Gardner Minshew so good because of Jay Gruden? Doesn't really matter, okay? Because at the end of the day, Gardner Minshew's making those throws. He's making those reads, and he's staying calm, collected, and poised in that pocket. And most importantly, and you saw it on the field yesterday, Brent, those guys rally behind him. Those guys want to play for him. Those guys want to celebrate with him. And those guys, most importantly, they want to win with him. So when you have that combination, man, that has the combination to be a starting quarterback in a franchise for a long time. So to answer your question right now, after 2 weeks, is it a little aggressive of me? Is it a little sunshine and rainbows? Maybe. But I'm just saying after 2 weeks right now, I'm sitting here on a Monday asking Trevor Lawrence who? He's got great hair. Congratulations. That's about it. I don't care.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You got to remind yourself he went toe-to-toe with the Tennessee Titans and a guy that just got a $118 million contract and a team that went to the AFC Championship last year. He went toe-to-toe last week and outperformed Phillip Rivers, who some believe might go to the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And now if you want to date back to a game where they really put a lot of stock in with Minshew, the last game of last year, and now you look at this offense with Leonard Fournette out of the way, frankly, and with them putting the ball in Minshew's hands like they did in the final game of last season. Well, he scored 38 points in that game, the offense did. They scored 27 last week and 30 this week. Those 3 games are a Minshew-led offense. They were built for him. They were designed to put the ball in his hands. And he scored 38, 27, and 30.
And let's keep in mind what we're talking about right now. We're talking about a brand new offense in the middle of a pandemic where you haven't had OTAs, where you haven't had minicamps. You have essentially 3 weeks to prepare, right? And this offense is doing this right now. Imagine this offense with a full training camp, a full OTA, and a full mini camp. Imagine what this offense could be. So it says a lot about what Minshew can bring to the table, obviously. It says a lot about how he can adapt and pick up things at an incredibly fast rate. And most importantly, it shows that his leadership in terms of even when he wasn't here in Jacksonville, he was still getting that work in someplace else.
You always bring this up, right? When we talk about Minshew, and you stated it, I think, before anybody else in town, and we kind of ran with it. Now everybody's jumped on board with it last year when Minshew was playing. It's like if he was a first or second round draft pick, well, people would be like, man, that's good stuff. They'd be like Kyler Murray, right? Yeah. They'd be Daniel Jones. Nobody's questioning should they go after Trevor Lawrence or anything like that. In New York, like Daniel Jones showed us good things. We like him. Mm-hmm. Heck, even in Washington, although that's maybe a little iffier, they're riding with Haskins right now, and I think the first couple of weeks they're okay with Haskins. So you said that, and I think that's correct. I think that people would be like, well, that was a good investment. Look what he's doing. Yeah, he made some mistakes, and yeah, a little inconsistent at times, but he's a young guy. He's going to keep going. The one I have with this, you're a 6th round pick. You might have to do something crazy good to lock up your spot. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No,
I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm just saying you might have to, like, if you go back to Brady way back in the day, like they went to the Super Bowl in his second year. You know what I mean? That's what, and then they were like, oh, okay, we can get rid of Bledsoe and all this stuff.
Sure.
So like it's so unfair to the guy, but he's played so well, and I feel like kind of like you're feeling, like, man, you don't do this stuff by accident. They've had 38 points on offense, 27 points and 30 points in his last 3 games where the ball has been in his hands. Gardner Minshew looks like the man. I mean, he looks like the guy, and he's been consistent the last 3 times he started the football.
Listen, I've been very adamant about this, right? I've stopped bringing up the fact that Gardner Minshew is a 6th-round pick. You know why? Because he's in his 2nd year now. So I don't care. At the end of the day, you're a starter in the NFL. I don't care if you're an undrafted guy, a first-round guy. You're the starting quarterback in the NFL right now. Now, I use that excuse of a 6th-round pick his first year because that was the ticket that got him to the dance, right? Where it's like, this guy's earned an opportunity because he's a 6th-round pick. Look at what he's doing. Let's see what he has. So that 6th-round pick, designation earned him a ticket to the his right now, these first 2 games, and how he's commanding this offense, it's put him in VIP. Right now, he's popping bottles in the VIP section because of his skill set. So I'm not putting the 6th-round take on him anymore. I'm not talking about Dwayne Haskins being a 1st-round pick, Kyler Murray being a 1st-round pick. At the end of the day, they're all in their 2nd year right now. They're all on the same ground, and for the most part, Gardner Minshew right now is ahead of all those guys, set aside from Kyler Murray, maybe.
All right, let's go to the other side of the ball, or maybe see what one of his teammates says about him. Brent Martineau, former Jags player, current MMA fighter, Austin Lane here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, and glad to have Jaguars' 2nd-year pass rushing stud Josh Allen on with us here on ESPN 690. Josh, thanks for taking a few minutes, man.
Thank y'all for having me on, man.
Hey, continue this conversation with us for a moment. We're talking about Gardner. You said it in your news conference last week. I think when we had you on Jaguars All Access, you said it. There's so much belief in this guy right now in the locker room. At least that's the sense we get. Is that true?
Yes, sir, man. We held Gardner to a high standard and high expectations to lead this team, and he's doing a heck of a job. We support him no matter which way he goes. He could have had the worst game in the world, but we know he's going to bounce back and work extremely hard in practice to not let that happen again. So we have Gardner's back, and he knows that, and he just goes out there and balls, man. And I'm happy to see that.
Josh Allen with us on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. I want to ask you about one other offensive guy real quick. How fun on the sideline, if you get a chance? I know you're looking at stuff and working toward the next possession, but have you peeked up on the video board or out on that field and watched Laviska Shenault play a little bit, number 10? He's pretty fun to watch.
I'm glued into him. He's been having a heck of a good 2 days, 2-week game. So he's been doing it all, running out the backfield, running people over, catching touchdowns. Man, he's Mr. Do It All, man, and I'm glad he's on my team, and he's doing a heck of a job. Hope he continues. And, man, we have a heck of a rookie class, and I'm glad to see them have a lot of success early. Hopefully they can continue to stay hot.
Josh, I've always abided by the philosophy that you either win or you learn. What did you guys learn, and what did this team learn from that nail biter in Nashville?
That we're a damn good team. Man, we're never going to give up. We fought to the last second, and that's something that we proved. Down 14 going into the fourth quarter. Going into half. I'm going to the second half, and then offense scored that first possession. That this team always going to fight. We fight for each other. We protect each other, and we just want to win. And they talking about tanking this, tanking that. Man, we trying to win as many games as we can so we can get to the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. And that's our mindset.
Josh Allen with us here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Talented pass rusher for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Got off to a fast start in his career with 10.5 sacks a year ago. Made it to the Pro Bowl. From a statistical standpoint, not a fast start so far. Are you frustrated at all with no sacks in 2 games?
Obviously, I am. I mean, yes, I am. I'm not, I am frustrated, but, man, I just got to keep going. I can't let that really affect me. It's a 16-game season. I can't just justify one of the first 2 games. So I know what I do is to help my team is to, make as many plays as I can, and that's all I'm really focused on. They haven't been coming to me lately, but man, I'm going to keep going hard as I can every play and never, I'm not going to chase anything. I'm just going to play my game and not get out of the gap to mess somebody else up. So I'm just going to continue to do what I do, and they're going to come eventually. Maybe this week, maybe next week, but who knows? But I'm just trying to win each game, win each rep, and win each play. So that's just all my mindset is.
Josh, speaking of the last game, against the Titans here, I thought you had a couple of really nice rushes, right? And you were literally a fraction away from getting home. I guess just take us through that process when you beat the guy off the line. And obviously I play this position too, so I know all about it. But take us through the process when you beat the guy off the line right away, right? And that internal clock inside you says, I just beat the tackle, I'm going to get home. And all of a sudden the quarterback gets that ball out a fraction of a second before you can get there. You had a really nice rush. How frustrating is that when you come so close, you have a great rush, and unfortunately he just gets the ball out?
I mean, that's not the frustrating part. That's actually a good point. The frustrating part is when they throw and they either score a touchdown or have a complete pass. That's the worst part. When you know you got a good hit on them, and you look up and you see everybody running down the field, that's a bad feeling. But if I'm hitting him and he's throwing the ball off, and they have incomplete passes and we're running off the field, that's a plus in my book. But I just know I got to get there a little bit quicker, man, and get a little strip sack so help my team put offense in a better situation. Because I know Garner and the boys are going to go down the field and score, as you can tell they did last week. So, I just, it is frustrating, though, to be honest.
I'm with you, man.
Hey, Austin played. He played in the NFL for 5 years, played your position. He knows all about it.
I kind of know about stopping the run more than getting after the quarterback. But, yeah, I've been there.
Josh Allen with us, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hey, what did the film look like on the trip home last night or today? And obviously you guys have some fixes to make on the defensive side.
Yeah, it was we really beat ourselves outside of anything else. We really beat ourselves with the penalties. But that's something we can always work on. It's something that we have to work on, defeating yourself. That's rule number one of not winning the game. If you beat yourselves and not winning the turnover battle, they had 2 turnovers. Statistically, they had a better chance of winning that game than we did. So we had to do a better job in just getting turnovers and getting the ball back to our offense.
You guys are young. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
You guys are young. Are you making young guy mistakes at times? I know that's not going to be an acceptable excuse, but it's early in the season. You didn't have a camp. Are some of those things showing up a little bit at times?
They're just football mistakes. I feel like a lot of the calls were, unnecessary, and a lot of, it was a lot of bad calls, I believe, especially the one with Miles in that last drive.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of crappy call. But, we just got to keep fighting for each other, and just stuff like that's going to happen throughout the game. But us being young, man, we still hold ourselves to a higher standard than anybody else on that field, and that's how we're always going to play. So, we got a lot of rookies out there, but, their mindsets and our mindsets is not to be rookies and not make mistakes, or not think about, we're young, so we can do this, we can get away with this. We hold ourselves to a higher standard. We stopped the run. Now we just got to get at the passer, and that's something that we all had to do better in.
Josh, you mentioned stopping the run a little bit. Obviously, with Derrick Henry, you guys did a fantastic job of doing that. Anytime you hold him underneath 100 yards, I think that's that's a check mark in my book. So now you have Miami coming in on short notice, right, on a Thursday night, and they seem to be a little more of a dual threat with the pass. They can run the ball as well, but does the scheme and does, I guess, the philosophy of the defensive line now go from, stopping Marlon Mack, stopping Jonathan Taylor, stopping Derrick Henry? Does that change now to trying to stop Fitzmagic, I guess, and that high-powered Dolphins receiving core?
No, it does not. Rule number one for our defense is to stop the run. Like I said earlier, previous in the weeks, we finished 31st in the league in the run defense. So that's something that we're never going to hold our head high on. So we're doing a better job in stopping the run, and that's going to be every game. Our mindset is stop the run every game, so we can be able to rush the passer. So we start the run early, get a lead on these boys, and so we can be able to rush the passer. I feel like we're going to have a successful day, and we're going to come out with a win.
Josh Allen with us, Jags pass rusher here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Josh, you're going to get tired of me this year, man. Jaguars All Access, sometimes jumping on the radio this fall. I'm sorry in advance. I'll try to be nice to you. You've got a lot going on, and obviously trying to help the fans out, too, in conjunction with Pepsi. They've got a home field advantage sweepstakes that you guys are doing. A lot of folks trying to watch from home and also still have a good time, and Pepsi's hitting the road surprising fans with epic kits, giving them everything they need to take at their home game day experience from their own homes. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing with Pepsi.
So just being a partner with Pepsi and just, trying to get the show the whole world that we have the best fans in the whole NFL, and just be able to partner with Pepsi for the home field advantage sweepstakes and help get Jaguars fans. And we got to help the Jaguars fans get involved more. And so, I mean, yeah.
Hey, here's the deal. You got a hashtag Gear Up for Game Day, and you can tweet at Pepsi. So hashtag Gear Up for Game Day, tweet at Pepsi. That's what the Home Field Advantage sweepstakes is all about. You can also get more information at PepsiGameDayGlory.com. One thing before we let you go, and apparently you and Austin here have a connection from an old coach, right? Isn't that the case?
Yeah, correct. We talked about this before a little bit. Yeah, so your offensive linebackers coach, Josh, back in Kentucky, we talked about it before. Yeah, so we actually, he was my safeties coach back in the day.
I know. I remember you was telling me about that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hold on. Because I was just talking. Coach White, you're not talking about Coach White. Who
of
you
course.
talking
Yeah.
Coach White?
Yes.
Wait, Coach White was a DB coach?
No, so he was a safeties coach back at Murray State. Yeah, the guy can do it all.
Man, you know what? I love Coach White. That man, and it does not put it past me that he did that. Mr. Do It All.
Yeah.
And that is crazy. I'm trying to. I wish he could come down to one of the games, but their season about to get going, and I wish him nothing but the best. And Kentucky boys, they got to go crazy anyway. So shock the world with that too.
All right, Josh, man, I got one more question for you real quick, and I want to get your thoughts about this because I feel a certain way. I want to get your opinion about it. So you call yourself J Money. Is this a self-appointed nickname? Because let's be honest, man, self-appointed nicknames don't exist. Like, it has to come from somewhere. So did this come from you, or has somebody actually called you J Money before?
Man, that used to be my nickname back in when I was in Jersey. My uncle started calling me that. And then people started calling me that. So, it was a thing. It was just a bad camera, sound bite that we got. No, credit. We have the best sound bites in the world. I'm saying the timing, it could have been better. But then, we got a lot of haters on the team. You know what I mean? They don't want me to be J Money. They said I got to earn it, which I respected. But no, man, it is what it is. I'm not really upset about that, but I like it, though. I think it's pretty cool.
All right, well, here's all I'm going to say. If they want you to call you J Money, you better bring some receipts. You better bring some relatives that called you back in the day. Get them on Zoom or something like that. Record it so we have proof. But until that time, I'm going to keep calling you the sheriff of New Sac City. Your thoughts about that?
I got you.
All right,
cool.
We'll get you a badge.
Yeah,
that is Josh Allen. Thanks for jumping in, man. We appreciate it. I know it's a short week. Good luck against the Dolphins.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Talk to you later.
All right. Josh Allen, Jaguars' talented pass rusher and captain in his second year. He's being asked to do a lot. I like what he said there, You could force things, right? You could be frustrated. He kind of has the mentality, let it come to you. Don't try to do too much. That's what went awry at times on this defense last couple of years. Guys trying to get theirs a little bit, and you get out of your gap or you get out of your assignment, and then, boom, all of a sudden – things go wrong.
Exactly. When you try to overcompensate, that's when the mistakes start happening. I love his mindset right here. We're 2 games in. He doesn't have a sack yet. Those sacks will come, and guess what? They come in bunches. True. Right? All of a sudden it starts with 1. Now you're talking 2, 3, 4. So I love the mindset. Just be patient. You're too good. You're too talented. You're too fast. You're too strong. They're going to come eventually.
Yeah, and by the way, you saw in the game, he had some really nice pass rush moves.
He had some great opportunities, man. Yeah, just, obviously the ball came out a little quicker than the Jaguars anticipated, and it is what it is. It's part of football.
Yeah, he's going to be a good player for a long, long time. We're going to have him on here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 quite a bit throughout the fall, so make sure you tune in. Most likely more on Tuesdays and Mondays, but it's a short week here this week. Let's get ready for the Dolphins. Coming up tonight, more Jags talk on TV. On Fox 30, it's Jags Report Live. We've got shows like, every day. Sometimes 2 or 3 a day. Jags Report Live, 7 o'clock on Fox 30. We'll be back with another segment of ESPN 690, and we'll hand off to Live Local Loud after that, but we're talking the rest of the NFL. Who's for real? Who's not? It's next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Hurry! It's the last time you'll get 5 years, 0 interest this year.
It's a busy time right now as the kids head back to school. COVID-19 is still lingering, and flu season is right around the corner. Clean air and home comfort have never been more important. Clean air equals healthier air. Your friends at Bold City Heating and Air offer duct sanitation and air purification, meaning not only will your Bold City Heating and Air be chilly cold, but also free of any microbacteria or nasty viruses that may try to make your home their home. Never fear what you can't see again. For only $499, a Bold City Heating and Air sanitation and purification package will give you peace of mind knowing your family is breathing fresh, clean air. Let the team at Bold City Heating and Air take care of your air and comfort. Be bold with COVID and flu season and sanitize your ducts for only $499. Simply with a call to Bold City Heating and Air at 904-379-1648. That's 904-379-1648. Or visit BoldCityAC.com. Bold City Heating and Air. Be bold and stay cold.
Boss, check out this headline in the Crooks R Us newsletter. Big Blue Alarm now allowing contact center employees to work from home.
Whoa, all of them?
Not quite. Says 88% of Big Blue employees are working from home.
Wonder if their customers know that the people monitoring their alarm are probably sitting at the kitchen table in their underwear.
Hey, maybe that's one of the reasons Big Blue doesn't have a guaranteed response.
That is an excellent point. Too bad Safe Touch Security isn't more like Big Blue Alarm.
Wishful thinking, boss. Listen to this. Safe Touch Security still leads the way with the fastest response time in the industry. Boss, how do they do it?
Doesn't matter. We still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Do that and we'll be fine.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Are you ready for a new ride? Then your wait is over. It's the Today's the Day sales event, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota. Today's the day for you to drive away from Arlington one really happy customer in your brand new Toyota. That's because you'll get 0% for 60 months on all new 2020 Camrys, Corollas, and RAV4s. 0%. How about getting a new Toyota Plus, no payments for 90 days? Today's the day because that's exactly what you'll get at Arlington. And did I mention 2 years of free maintenance? Yes. Today's the day you get your new Toyota at Arlington, plus 2 years of free maintenance. And with every new vehicle purchase from Arlington, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind, thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Today is most definitely the day to get the Toyota you really want at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. Today is the day for full details.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. After the crash, call the police and document the scene by taking photos of all the vehicles involved. If you were injured, get medical attention as soon as possible. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
This message is brought to you by Community First Credit Union.
Here's an idea. Let's make some plans. Plans to do all the things we've been wanting to do. And let's put those plans on solid financial ground. So if you have questions about your family or business finances, we have answers. Answers that can work for you and everyone in Jacksonville.
To get started, text ANSWERS to 797979 or visit communityfirstfl.org to schedule an appointment. federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
It's always smart to shop at Diamonds Direct, but right now it's smarter than ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing and no money down on any purchase. No kidding, it's the best offer ever. Keep your money, finance the entire purchase, even the tax, for 5 years without paying a dime in interest. Get a $10,000 certified diamond for only $168 a month. I'm telling you, this makes fine jewelry more affordable than ever. It's definitely the smart way to buy. On approved credit, details at diamondsdirect.com.
Open this Sunday.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Where I'm from, marijuana is legal. Can I use it in Florida? Nah, it's illegal here, man. But I have PTSD. Should I at least try to get medical marijuana?
That's legal. But if I were you, I'd talk to my doctor about qualifying conditions and to find out if medical marijuana is even right for you.
Thanks. I'll talk to my doctor.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pet's changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
5 years, 0 interest has been extended.
No other jeweler in North Florida can beat Beard's Diamonds. And now with their 5 years, 0 interest financing, you can go even bigger.
Save on everything. Rings, earrings, bracelets, pendants, wedding bands, all designer jewelry, all colored gemstone pieces, and all diamonds. 5 years, 0 interest. Now held over.
Beard's Diamonds, located at the St. John's Town Center.
Come in. See the difference. Save thousands.
At 1-to-1 Financial, we're proud to support dozens of the best breweries and restaurants in Jacksonville. As the hometown credit union, we have one thing to ask. Please invest in Jacksonville, now more than ever. Go on out and enjoy some great local food and beer. We'll make it easy. Head over to Kingmaker Brewing in Riverside on September 25th to the 27th and October 2nd to the 4th for socially distanced Oktoberfest. The beer is awesome, and it's just $12 to get in. Google Kingmaker Brewing or check 1to1fcu.org for details. Man, that Gardner Minshew can throw over mountains, Annie.
You've worked hard all your life. Retirement worries shouldn't get in the way, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. But many Americans are finding that retiring on a fixed income is hard. BenefitsCheckup.org is a free website from the National Council on Aging. With just a few clicks, you can see if you qualify for thousands of dollars to pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. BenefitsCheckup.org. You've earned this. This message is supported by the Administration for Community Living.
Dave Benyon here with Zero Res. Don't miss the hottest deal of the year. For September, we're going back in time to 16 years ago. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $99. Give us a call at Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
ESPN 690 wants you to shop the 904. And by doing that, you keep most of the money and jobs right here on the First Coast. Plus, local businesses give our community its uniqueness and character that makes living on the First Coast so great.
Shop the 904.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Keep climbing.
It's intercepted. Picked off of the 12. He will go down. He signs the promised land. Touchdown FSU.
This is your home for FSU football.
15 to the 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown to Mario Terry. He is scary. Intercepted. Picked off of the 33-yard line. Noles win. Noles win.
Catch live coverage of the Seminoles all season long. Right here on your home for Florida State football.
Right here on ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio and the Florida State Seminoles. Austin Lane.
And I'm going to regurgitate it to you. I'm like a mother bird right now, and I'm spewing it in your mouth.
Brent Martineau.
You got doves flying and mother birds all week.
I'm trying to baby bird you right now, man.
Yeah, well, this is why I tease stuff and don't get to it.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I think that definitely in the zone. Locked in,
Martin.
focused, dialed in. My teammates are too. It's a great group of men, like I said. I've been ready to play, since the last time we had our last game in Green Bay. I just been every day. It's my mindset, just my performance team and everything else. Just everything that we put into it is just getting ready, and trying to be great. And I think that, I have an obsession with this thought process of always trying to find more. There's always be on this constant quest for knowledge. Be on this understanding that, that I want to continue to push myself.
He is so good, Russell Wilson. The game's so slow for the guy, and fun to watch. Throws a great deep ball, a little undersized, bigger hands, very mobile. Sounds like a guy I know around here.
Has a lot of qualities, doesn't he?
He actually
a lot
does.
of characteristics. Heck yeah.
Good leader.
Yeah, heck yeah. I don't know if I can say that or not. Whatever. I just did. Yeah. Do you hit the button or not?
I mean, nobody would notice until you brought it up for the last 30 seconds.
Well,
now.
Sorry, man. I get passionate about Gardner Minshew. I should be celebrated for that more as opposed to don't say that.
We were just talking, by the way. We do Minshew Mondays if the Jags win. Didn't have one today, so I mean, no cool get-ups today.
Nah,
got
I
my
almost wore my jean shorts too.
Coming in.
Yeah.
Priority mail.
Minshew song.
And so, but we're thinking like, well, if we have, it's got to be Minshew Monday. So even if they win Thursday night, it's not going to be Friday.
Nope.
We'll have to have it on Monday.
Correct.
So we stick with the brand, people.
I like it, man.
Hey, it was good to have Josh Allen on. We appreciate him taking some time. We're going to do quite a bit, quite frequently in the fall. So great to have one of the bright young stars on this football team. Look for him to pile up some sacks and big plays sooner than later. Hey, one of the big storyline, the storyline in the NFL.
Let's hear it.
Injuries.
No.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
I was going a different direction.
I want to ask you this. Are the injury, look at San Francisco. San Francisco, by the way, they starting to remind you a little bit potentially of the 18 Jaguars. Remember, come off the big season, and then they got just crushed with injuries. The Jags did in 2018. People don't remember that. People are like, "Well, Blake Bortles and they stunk and all that," but they got decimated by it. I mean, they really got unlucky with injuries, and they weren't good enough to overcome it. Partly because of the quarterback situation and other things, but they had lost. They already were without Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Richard Sherman. They lost Raheem Mostert, Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Bosa,
Solomon Thomas.
I mean, you could make those are 7 potential Pro Bowl guys. They lost, and then Saquon Barkley goes out. Drew Lock goes out. Who else is it? Cortland Sutton is out.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's out for 4 to 6 weeks, I think it is.
Yeah.
Who else did they lose? Cam Akers went down.
Julio Jones might have a hamstring issue he's dealing with.
Tyrod Taylor went to the hospital before the game.
Yeah.
I mean, weird with chest pains. I'm sure I'm missing some, right? I'm missing a lot. There were a ton of injuries.
Did you say Cortland Sutton's out for the season? Yeah,
I did.
Okay.
And here's the list. Barnwell actually ranks them. Bosa and Barkley, McCaffrey, we said. Drew Lock, we said. Cortland Sutton, Jimmy Garoppolo, Devontae Adams went down. Didn't realize that. Tavon Young went down for Baltimore. Malik Hooker out for the year with an Achilles.
That's
right. Brendan Scherf, although they said that he's expected not to miss much time. Byron Jones might not play this week for the Dolphins. We'll see. Big
That'd
free
be
agent
big.
signing. Mostert goes down. Tyrod Taylor, of course. Anthony Barr, I think he's done for the year.
Vikings.
I
That's a
think
big
it's
one.
a torn pec.
Yeah.
Brandon
Former
Linder
All-Pro.
actually made this list, but the Jags get lucky, and it looks like it's day-to-day. I'd be surprised maybe if he played Thursday. That's just me guessing, because why not rest him up if he's – and you got a capable guy in Tyler Shatley that they trust. Paris Campbell goes down with an ACL. Bruce Irvin with an ACL. Will Fuller hurt again, it looks like. I mean, some of these guys I didn't even know until I read this list, but – my whole fantasy team is like on the bench, basically, because they're injured. Yeah. Do you think the obvious question is it the nature of the season? No big training camp, no preseason games, no off season. Is this going to put a black eye on that part of this calendar year where guys jumped into play and now in 1 week you have all these injuries?
Did you say Cam Akers as well? Cam Akers
I did.
is okay. So
Ribs, I think.
There were so many. Yeah, that's the name. Injuries happen every single year in the NFL. But, like, you mean to tell me that Saquon Barkley didn't come in shape? Let's be honest here. The guy's an absolute workhorse. It was just about a bad luck. If you go back and rewatch the play, I mean, it's a pretty routine tackle. He just steps wrong, and boom, you're out for the season. The game can be that cruel sometimes. How much of, the COVID-19 not being prepped does that have to do with it? I think there is something to be said for it. And especially like teams like the 49ers and the Colts who seem to be like decimated themselves. I don't know. Like every team's handled this COVID-19 situation differently. Now, is that a direct reflection, a direct correlation of the injuries happening? Maybe or maybe not. But I just think that when you don't give your body proper time to get introduced to the rigors of the NFL and the hitting and the tackling and everything, you could have some consequences. Right now, Brent, we're seeing some consequences.
I think the big thing here, take a look at like college football. Like if you're the SEC right now and you're eventually the Big Ten and the Pac-12, how much do you look at this kind of stuff? And you're kind of curious now, too. And those guys have been on campus. People have been ramping up. But it's got to come into your mind. Like, are people in shape? Are they in good enough shape? Are we going to have more injuries than normal? Or is it just bad luck? It's a violent game. I mean, how many times did you sit there? Well, you played it, so it doesn't matter to you. I can tell you, I was watching with Steph and the kids for a little bit in the first half, and you, like, heard the crack of the helmets and the crack of the pads, and, like, Steph would be like, oh. Yeah. I mean, we talked about how the no fans would impact that.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just a violent game. You're going to get guys injured. I mean, that could have happened in 2000. This list could happen in 2018, 2015. I think the crazy stat coming out of week one was no quarterback got injured or benched for the first time in like a very long time. No starting quarterback. They all made it through week one. Yeah. Not the case in week two.
Yeah, and listen, once again, I mean, how is the correlation from the way they handle the training? I don't know, Brent, like you said, it's a very violent game, right? And I can go through a slew of guys who have held out in training camp, come back week one, and look fine, and look ready to go to regular season. Like, for instance, Khalil Mack. Remember when Khalil Mack held out and went to Chicago, and, like, he missed all of training camp week one against the Packers? Oh, no big deal. Like, 3 sacks against Aaron Rodgers, almost broke his leg. It's just some guys I think are just wired differently. And like I said, Saquon Barkley is one of those guys. Like, to me, the fact that he tore his ACL, it's one of those freak things. It's not a lack of you didn't try hard. It's not a lack for that your body wasn't ready. It's just this is the game of football, and it is the most cruel sport you can play sometimes.
Well, it obviously changes the Giants. I thought they had potential to be a sleeper team. If they had Saquon Barkley, they might have won that game yesterday. They might have beat Chicago. Yeah. They lost by 4 points, and they had to play at the goal line right at the end. I mean, it's hard not to say that didn't impact the game with Barkley not being in there. Yep. It certainly could impact the landscape of the NFL and the NFC West. I mean, San Francisco, if they were going to try to go back-to-back and they had a ton of talent, this is a gut punch, man, to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like San Francisco anymore based on the injuries that they had. And we'll see what happens with Garoppolo. Yeah. That didn't look crazy bad, but we'll see. One other thing about the NFL. Yeah. Who's for real and who's not? Here's what you want to get into.
No, it's fine. Do you want to go first? I'm going to sip some water before I go.
I'm going to say, let's go over to the 2-0 teams, okay? Are the Buffalo Bills for real?
I think they are. I mean, I've been a big Josh Allen supporter. I mean,
how about his start?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm not surprised.
I guess Jalen Ramsey wasn't right about him being trash. Jalen, you got that one wrong.
Yeah. I think the Bills are the real deal. I think adding Stephon Diggs obviously is showing to be a big deal. And the fact that they always have their defense to fall back on. I like the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, 2-0 Baltimore Ravens.
Obviously real. But also, Lamar Jackson looked a little pedestrian yesterday for you. I mean, he looked good, but, you're not going to have 30 fantasy points every single game, unfortunately for you.
Well, he hasn't even gotten the 30s yet.
Ooh, yeah.
For me. So I don't know if this is a personal thing or what.
Yep.
But let's go.
Nah, it's all right.
I put a lot of investment into you.
That's your mistake. You thought you were going to steal him away from me. Little did you know I had Plan B and Plan C in my back pocket with Josh Allen and somebody else.
Yeah, front runner. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Undefeated.
They're 2-0.
Do I think they're the real deal?
Yeah.
I'm buying in. I think if Big Ben can stay upright and stay healthy, it fell on Smith-Schuster, but lo and behold, they actually have a lot more options at receiver than we thought. It comes down to James Conner, though, right? James Conner's been kind of disappointing. He had a touchdown yesterday a little bit. Benny Snell had a horrible game as a backup running back. I like their pass game. Obviously, their defense, one of the best in the NFL. So, yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers, real deal.
Titans are 2-0. They've won by a combined 5 points against the Broncos and Jags. Are they for real?
I had them winning the division, so I think they're pretty good. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think they're pretty good. What do you think?
Well, I think they've, we talk about this quite a bit. Vrabel's done a very nice job. They usually know who they are. Now I think they can beat you in a couple of ways with Tannehill, the way he's played second half of last year and now early on this year. And they can win in a variety of ways. That's the thing about them. So I think they just know how to win right now.
Yeah.
That's what that says. Kansas City's for real. We'll find out about the Raiders tonight. Nobody in the East. Green Bay, they for real?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers playing ticked off right now. You want to take Jordan Love? Check me out one time.
Chicago?
No, I'm not buying into Chicago quite yet.
We'll see about the Saints tonight. The Rams?
You got to respect it,
I'll tell you what, the Rams offense looks good.
You got to respect it. 12 personnel, baby.
He's way better this year than he was last year.
Start buying that 12 personnel.
He did a lot of homework in that pool.
Because they're running the ball again, making running great again.
Seattle's given up 1,000 yards and 55 points. Are they for real?
Yeah. Hurry up and get to Arizona. Let's go.
Oh, is Arizona 2-0?
Let's go. Hurry up and get to Arizona.
Out of time?
Hurry up and get to Arizona. See, whatever. This is why this show cannot reach new heights, because we don't respect Kyler Murray like we should. In the MVP running right now, not sure if you watched him, Jack Del Rio's having nightmares as a defensive coordinator right now. Shout out to Jack Del Rio, great guy. But, man, Kyler Murray putting it on the Redskins. What else is new? What else is new when I just pick fantasy football gods to go on my team?
Are we really talking MVP 2 weeks into a season?
Might as well. Did you watch him?
Come on, stop.
Did you see the footwork? The leadership.
Do the Eagles stink? And do the Vikings stink?
There's problems. There's problems in Philadelphia, for sure. I'm not sold on the Vikings stinking quite yet because I had them winning the division. So let's go Minnesota. I have a lot of Packer fans right now in my grill.
Hey, tomorrow we talk a little bit more about the NFL in totality, maybe a little more Kyler Murray and what they're doing, but maybe a little more Cam Newton as well.
Yeah.
Hey, give me one thing real quick. UCF fight?
UFC fight? Oh, missed it by that much. Yeah. UFC fight, man. Listen, I promised it was going to be political. It's going to be a little racial, and lo and behold, it definitely was. Colby Covington, though, put it on Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley kind of quit that fight, man. Said his ribs were hurt. He tapped out verbally. Not a good look for him. I'm not sure if he's done fighting now, but Colby Covington was the star of that whole show.
Yeah, give me one thing for me, and it was U.S. Open win for Bryson DeChambeau. Go gain 50 pounds, and you can hit the ball a long ways and win the U.S. Open. Simple as that. Live Local Loud coming up next. Jags Report Live, 7 o'clock on Fox 30. We'll do it again tomorrow.